probably one of the best rivalries in the city when it comes to the football field. Great cut up the middle. He's got some space. Slips a couple tackles. Rodriguez to the pylon for the touchdown.
Excellent pass, but just as good a catch.
Joel Pastrana will not be caught.
Stopped at the 3, kept on churning, and finally got into the end zone.
Lambert breaks free. Jonathan Lambert up the middle. He's going to win the game. Throwing it up to Exelholm. What a catch.
We've seen some amazing games, but that was
one of the best we've seen in a long time. Hello, everybody. Welcome to West Roxbury High School as we're bringing you our coverage at the start of the 2017 MIAA High School football postseason. Tonight, we're at Westy for the North Division 8 quarterfinals as the Tech Boston Bears are taking on the West Roxbury Raiders. Hello, everybody. I'm Pat Flaherty, joined by my partner, as always, Alan Platt. Alan, we actually have a rematch of last week. These two teams finished off the regular season last week. West Roxbury won by 2. Now they're playing again in the postseason. Got to be a weird feeling for these two teams.
Well, week before Halloween, right?
Yeah, no
you can expect anything. But you're right. With the new format, I can't say new anymore. It's been a few years.
Right.
Probably the best thing this format does is it gives hope to teams who have a tough start in the beginning of the season.
Right.
Like we have a situation here where teams under 500 are still making the first round, have a chance to move on. So like you said, it's really unusual to end up playing basically back-to-back. Right. But familiarity. Coaches all week have been hopping on the mistakes both teams made. But like you said, West Roxbury did have the final score of that game and won it by a couple of points. So we'll see. And now they're home again, so we'll see if that's makes a big difference for them.
Right.
But you never can tell. Tech Boston, both these teams know, okay, we've had our ups and downs all season, but now we can really jump on the trampoline and get ourselves going.
No question. Now, you talk about Tech Boston, and they did have 2 touchdowns in that last game, and they were both by one player that we want to look at today. That's A.J. Cooper, who's been probably their best all-around offensive player this season.
Exactly, Pat. That's probably the best word for him. He can pretty much do everything. He's a return specialist. He has quickness, speed, real toughness. So he's I guess you call him a leader because the other players on the team understand how tough he plays, so they try to follow his lead.
No
As
question.
you saw right there, he had 5 touchdowns, and he's, obviously he'll be the player that West Roxbury is going to key on. But Tech Boston also can do some other things. Sometimes you'll see him used as a decoy,
right.
And have some other guys try to run the ball.
Meanwhile, for the other side, West Roxbury, who at the beginning of the season had a few guys graduate, but including the quarterback position. But Irvin Exelholm has stepped in and done a nice job. He's our spotlight player tonight. He's been a very good player for Westy all season long. Well,
we saw him earlier in the season. They had a really tough outing against East Boston. East Boston really beat him up. But Exelholm, even in that game, showed some signs of what he could do at quarterback. His entire career before this year, he was a wide receiver and one of the best in the city. So, like you said, add quarterback, he's sort of progressed every game. The coaches feel like he's really made a difference, and now he really wants to try to have his senior year not end tonight on this field.
That's right. Despite being a first-year quarterback, a lot of varsity experience for this Westy team. He had 3 passing touchdowns and 3 rushing touchdowns this season. He had 2 passing touchdowns last week against Tech Boston, including the game-winning touchdown and 2-point conversion in the fourth quarter last week. So he is going to have a big say.
He's flying high. No doubt about that. He's flying high. Plus, the main thing is he'll touch the ball on every offensive play.
No question. He can break it for long runs a lot. Now, for more on this game, we're going to head to our sideline reporter, Eric Getzoff, who's got an update for us. Eric, what do you have?
Thank you, Pat. I just spoke with Bears head coach Raul Brown. He told me that after last week's 16-14 loss, he met with his team, and he basically told them, guys, we could have been 6-1 all year, though we finished 3-4. We just made a bunch of silly mistakes, and I just want you guys to know that we could have been 6-1. So I just want you guys to know that. Second off, he told this team that the Raiders were just more physical with them last week. That was the reason why they lost the game, and he challenged his team to just come out with much more physicality. He told his team, come out hitting, and if that doesn't work again, just come out and keep hitting them, and that's the way that we're going to win this game. Back to you, Pat.
Eric, thanks very much as we're just about to start this football game. But good point by Eric. that Coach Brown wants to go back to that old Dorchester football, not Tech Boston,
Bears,
but Dorchester
Bears,
football.
right.
The hard-hitting, ground-and-pound type of football that Coach Rich Moran used to like to play for a long time. Coach Brown was the JV coach under Rich Moran for several seasons before taking over 3 seasons ago. So he wants to get back to that brand of football. Meanwhile, West Roxbury seems to always play that kind of football because of the linemen and the size that they have every season. So West Roxbury will be kicking off. They're in the black unis with the green trim. Tech Boston in the white jerseys, red trim, and black pants. We are underway here in the 2007 MIAA football postseason. Tech Boston fielding it right around the 24-yard line. Making a great return down the sideline. Tech Boston well into West Roxbury territory right around the 45. Very good return there for the Bears.
Looks like Anton. Is that Anton? No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Keon Henderson, the sophomore wide receiver with the excellent return there for Tech Boston.
Well, you talk about getting off to a good start. You can't beat that. Get into opponent's territory right away on the kickoff.
26-yard return there for Henderson. So Tech Boston now at the West Roxbury 45. They hand it off to Cooper, spins out of 1 tackle, but then is gang tackled after a short pickup, picked up about 3 on the play.
Well, as we just said, he's going to be keyed on every play, obviously. He's the most explosive runner. He's going to come out after that first play. We have an injured Tech Boston player being attended to.
As the injured player is looked at, we'll take a look at the starters for Tech Boston. Mark Senecharles is the quarterback. You got Cooper and Lewis in the backfield. Harrison, who will be moved all around the field tonight for the Tech Boston Bears, and Mendez there as the receivers. That's number 60 for Tech Boston being helped off the field. One of their linemen.
Very first play.
Joshua Sammy.
That's a tough situation. Well, at least he's able to put a little bit of weight on that. That looks like his right leg. That's got to be a killer. First play of the game.
I know.
You're so hyped up the entire time, the whole week, and here you see. That was good gang tackling by West Roxbury.
And you see Exelholm, the quarterback for Westy, coming up from the safety position. 2nd down and 7 now for the Bears. A handoff to Cooper again. A.J. makes a couple of cuts. A.J. Cooper to the outside. Cooper down the sideline, corralled out of bounds. Right around the 20-yard line, make that the 21.
That's a good patient running path. See what he just sort of bides his time, waits for an opening, pushed one of his teammates into a lead block, and once he got that, a little bit of a spurt right here. So he pops past the linebackers. Exelholm has to be the guy to track him down.
So 21-yard pickup there for Cooper. Tech Boston now with the football at the Westy 21. It was just 30 seconds into the first quarter, all set up by that good return.
Yeah, this is exactly how Tech Boston wants to start out.
Now on 1st down, the handoff to Harrison.
More of the same.
And Jerron Harrison is dropped at the line of scrimmage, might have picked up a yard.
Good one-on-one tackle. The linebackers came across for that. Tell you that both teams have been surprised by the good weather. I mean, we had rain the last few days and that cold damp, but today, sun finally came out, so the field's in pretty good shape, and it's not that bitter cold, so they can't ask for better conditions.
No question. Coach Wright liked that the team practiced in rain over the last 2 days, but he's happy for this game here. The big fullback getting the carry here on 2nd and 11, and he makes his way inside the 10.
I'll tell you, for some reason, even though they're on the road, Tech Boston just seems to be a little sharper starting this game. There's a fullback. He had the lead block
Lewis
on the big run by Cooper, and here you see his big run himself.
Yeah, Kelvin Lewis picking up another 1st down there for the Tech Boston Bears, so they now have 1st and goal inside the 10-yard line.
Usually Lewis is the lead blocker for Cooper, whether they go right or left.
Cooper again, the deep back. They pitch it to Cooper. He fumbles the football. It looked like there was a cross up there.
Yeah,
what kind of play that was.
Cooper,
West Roxbury recovers.
You picked it up right, Pat. It did seem like Cooper wasn't actually expecting that. He looked like he was moving toward a handoff. Instead, got the pitch, and it went awry. You watch that. See, he looks like he's coming to the line like he's going to get a handoff. And there's West Roxbury jumping right on it. Oh, mistakes, and we always talk about turnovers, mistakes being key no matter what part of the game it is. That's a really bad way for Tech Boston to kill their own drive.
So number 70, Nathaniel Rosa with a recovery for the West Roxbury Raiders. So they'll now take over at the 10-yard line in the shadow of their own end zone. But
Exelholm,
as
he's
good,
the guy.
Hey, well, you know, as good as Tech Boston was on that drive, that's as bad as that turnover was.
I was just going to say, because Exelholm can do some special things on any play. But like you said, they're backed up so far. They've got to really be careful with the football.
Now on first down, Exelholm going to pitch it over the right side. Oh, they tried the halfback pass to Exelholm. They've got him over the middle. Irvin Exelholm dropped at the 35.
Little trickery.
I guess you try that at home, maybe?
Oh, I'll tell you what, Pat.
Wow.
When you're talking about an elimination game, nice pitch and excellent throw. Watch how he leads it. We have great camera angle. That's Exelholm's ability to run under the football in full stride. Like you said, just add extra yardage to the play. A 30-yard play on a first down deep in your own territory. You talk about taking advantage of a turnover. Roaches took that pitch and made that beautiful pass.
Now on first and 10, they pitch it again. This time,
someone's going to keep it.
Number 24 for West Roxbury. That's Kolawole Omo with the carry. Not much going there. There's number 48 for the Tech Boston Bears, made the tackle.
There's a pitch now. This is similar to the first play, except this is obviously a designs run. Nowhere to cut up field at all. Good job by the linebackers coming up. That's one of the two-way players for Tech Boston. Well, we saw West Roxbury early in the season against East Boston. We're going.
They're the starters for West Roxbury. Exelholm, Presume, Omo, Pena, and Johnson are at the skills positions for the Raiders. Second down and 10 now for Westy. And they pitch it over the left side. This time it's Israel Presume getting the carry. Presume running hard past the 40. He fumbles the football. Was Tech Boston stepping out of bounds? Oh, they give it back to him.
Yeah.
So Tech Boston, and now the West Roxbury coaches
they're
are saying
the same thing you
stepped out of bounds.
said. They're saying the exact same thing you said, Pat. They think he stepped out of bounds before the ball came out. Yeah, I mean, they're upset. They may have one of their guys run up here and want to see our replay.
No kidding. Well, we're streaming on YouTube, so they can watch it on the web if they want.
Somebody got to get their tablet or phone out.
Right.
But you might be right, because it was he was right at the sideline. He was struggling for extra yardage. Obviously, now the three of the officials are in the area trying to figure out if.
See what the head referee has to say.
Out of bounds, so therefore, out of bounds.
Oh, you're right. You call, hey, eagle eye, right?
I'll get the next 10 wrong, but I did get that.
Yeah, you got that one right.
Let's see if we can get.
Okay, now watch it. Presume's going to come around, gets away from that defender to the sideline. Now he's struggling right here. Or actually, I'm not sure if what did they go out of bounds? Very close. Yeah. Okay.
That's right.
So West Roxbury keeps it. Big break for them. I mean, you talk about bad break for Tech Boston on the fumble. Now what would-be fumble stays with West Roxbury. I was thinking, earlier, we saw West Roxbury, again, against the East Boston team was just firing that night out at Eastie. Didn't see any trick plays from West Roxbury, though.
No,
here
we
see a trick play on the first play of the game.
Well, I guess with the quarterback who's in the second, that East Boston game was the second game of the season for him. Maybe they didn't want to try that.
Keep it really basic. You're right. Yeah.
And you would think trick plays with a former wide receiver who can go out and catch the ball easily, like an Exelholm. As they say, he had the 2 touchdown passes last week versus Tech Boston. One, I believe, was to Pena. The other one was to Johnson, who's their sophomore tight end, who's emerged as a playmaker.
Let's not forget, Exelholm is also an excellent runner.
1st and 10 now from the 43-yard line, and the handoff over the right side. And
Nice
not a
cut.
whole
There's
lot of
Olmo.
room there for the Raiders. That was number 80, Louis Pena, who had that pass to
pass in the
Exelholm
first
early.
play.
But he had nowhere to go on
They're
that
moving
sweep.
people around. He was actually like on the slot, came around, had to give up so much yardage in the backfield to get away from the first tackler that didn't have much steam going upfield. Yeah, I think Tech Boston looks like they've recovered a bit from their offensive fumble in the red zone, so they're just anxious to get the ball back.
Raiders now faced with a 2nd down and 10 from their own 44-yard line. They got a bunch formation.
Yeah, wide side of the field.
Exelholm back to throw, looking over the left
Yep.
side. He's got his receiver, but
Ooh.
dropping the football.
Thinking about going upfield.
Yeah,
Wow.
Jose De Villa Quinones, and he was actually the one who scored one of the touchdowns
Okay.
last week.
Well, it's going to happen because you do get over anxious. Exelholm waits, good patience. Right. Oh, wow.
He had some room.
Right at his
He
waist.
had some
You're
room.
right. That bunch formation, the basically a triangle of 3 receivers. 2 of them go downfield. Quinones just stayed in his area in the flat. So they've shown a lot of different plays already. I mean, nothing's been basic so far for West Roxbury.
Raiders now faced with a 3rd down and 10. We saw them with a halfback pass earlier in the drive. They also just tried to throw out to the flat. Very confident with Exelholm throwing the football. Now he's over the right side, and the ball falls incomplete.
Yeah. They're trying to get to the tight end that time.
Yeah, he was looking for Carlos Roches.
Oh, good defensive stand for Tech Boston and White. They've got to be happy with themselves. You see good coverage. Had to throw the ball low.
Right, so as you mentioned, as disappointed as Tech Boston is with that fumble earlier inside the red zone, now they're getting the football back after a good defensive stand as Pena's punt is blocked. And here comes Exelholm picking it up, trying to run for the 1st down, but he is tackled inside the 50-yard line down at the 47, so he will be well short. And that's where Tech Boston will take over.
But again, it just shows you, on top of things, alert, watch Exelholm. Gets a good bounce here, and then they're able to skirt the sideline, but just had too far to go, and Tech Boston recovered, seeing that he had the football, caught him about 4 yards short.
So the Westie Raiders, if you're West Roxbury, you got to be thinking we were just given a gift.
That's right.
And now we're, they have the ball back in our territory again. I mean, this is right back where we started at the 47-yard line.
Somehow on that special teams punt play, the blocking just broke down because Exelholm actually picked up one of the rushers, but the second one was the one who got the block.
Now on 1st down, the handoff to the fullback again.
Wow.
That's Kelvin Lewis trying to get to the outside. Takes a couple of guys to bring him down right around the 33-yard line.
They put Lewis as the deep back in the eye on that play, taking Cooper's place. Watch, you'll see there's the handoff. There's a good block from his fullback, and Lewis running like a halfback. Going to run through this cornerback's attempted tackle and then gain enough for the 1st down. Tight formation, just one receiver split wide.
Handoff again on 1st down. This time it's Cooper. He fumbled again.
I think that one might have come right back to him.
So AJ lucking out on that one.
Watch this ball. When he's hit, it's going to pop right in the air.
I think it was his own lineman who actually might have hit him.
Back to it.
Looked like James Stone was the one who got sort of backed up into
Exactly, trying to execute a block and ran into the football.
So 2nd down and 10 now for the Tech Boston Bears. Cooper again, the deep back. They hand it off to Cooper, and this time he's got a seam. A.J. Cooper.
Nice
now
run,
down
first
inside
down.
the 20.
They found something on that offensive left side. That both of Cooper's big runs have been to the left. This time Lewis is the lead fullback. You see, this is the type of runner we talked about in the open. Patient, looks for openings, lets his blockers set things up. Got a timeout on defense for West Roxbury. They had 12 guys out there. A little bit of confusion as they're trying to make some substitutions.
So Tech Boston taking a timeout here with 4:30 left to go in the first quarter.
Well, we've seen Tech Boston's been able to run. Like I said, that left side, they've had 2 excellent runs by Cooper and 1 by Lewis to start this drive. From the coach's standpoint, you really got to wonder how much that fact they played last week, how much of that sort of turns over and carries over to this game.
Yeah, you wonder if the winning team's a little overconfident. You wonder if
there you go.
Losing team is thinking too much. Here's Cooper trying to stutter step his way upfield. Picked up a few. Looks like he got about 5 on that play.
Again, his tail back in the eye, just waiting for an opening. Runs out of an arm tackle. Cuts in from the sideline. I mean, West Roxbury, because they're keying on him, they're able to react to him, but he's still getting some yardage.
And I think we got another injured player.
Well, Cooper's down.
It's going to be A.J. Cooper down.
Well, it was a bit of a gang tackle at the end there on the sideline. So it looks like Lewis is going to go back to the tailback spot.
Second and 5 now for the Bears, and it looks like we
movement.
had some extra movement. That's going to back them up. Going to wipe out that first down run.
Some of the Tech Boston players probably have that fumble
Offside.
in their heads
Offense number 48.
from their
Five-yard
first
penalty.
drive, even though
3rd down.
they've actually responded pretty well. We've seen Lewis have a couple of good runs. It's also a couple of good blocks for Cooper, so wouldn't be surprised to see Lewis get another handle.
Yeah, I mean, so far he's been probably their most efficient runner so far in the first quarter.
Now, he's mainly the lead blocker, but like you said, it's just young kids a lot of times, high schoolers, if they can make a nice play early in the game, that sets them off for the rest of the night.
No question.
That might be the case for Lewis.
Especially if, like you said, younger guys get a little confidence to start off. Kind of like that shooter in basketball who knocks down a jumper.
Hit the first one.
And then they're feeling good the rest of the night.
Good for the evening.
There's Mark Senecharles, the junior quarterback for Tech Boston. 6 touchdown passes this season. He has stepped right in nicely after filling in for Stephen Jocks.
I'm not sure what the Tech Boston offense is having. A couple of coaches are really upset. Obviously, a player or two were in the wrong position, so they are forced into use another timeout. And the coaches realize some of the kids are nervous, they're anxious, you got butterflies because it's a playoff game.
Sure.
You want to advance, so anytime you appear you're in good shape or have any kind of an advantage, all the kids want to take advantage of it at the same time. So that's one of the things that the coaches have got to keep an eye on. Like we just had that motion penalty. Now we've had 2 situations where they've had kids in the wrong positions. You got to clean that up.
Especially when you're down here this close to the end zone.
Yeah.
I mean,
they already had a chance to
right,
score.
And they had a miscue.
Not
necessarily. It wasn't that Cooper had the ball ripped out. He went the wrong way.
Right, exactly.
So you had a miscue offensively. You don't want that to happen again. 2nd down and 10 now for Tech Boston. Senecharles back to throw over the right side. He was looking for two different receivers who were going in the same direction.
That's strange. You're right. I'm not sure if that was one of those players may have been going running the wrong route. Because as it turns out, he ended up throwing the ball in between the two of them, and neither one actually was able to get to it. We've talked about this before. As strange as it seems, it almost sounds funny. A lot of times, you literally can forget the play from the huddle to when you line it up.
I did that in high school. I remember
it happens a lot in high school.
My first freshman game, I hadn't played all game. I go in there. Here we go on 3rd down and 10. Now it's, I think it was Harrison who got the carry there as he makes his way close to the 10-yard line, down at about the 12.
Yeah, right.
So the big fella picking up some good yardage there.
Now watch this. He's in the tailback. Runs right through a arm tackle. Uses that bulk of his to get inside. So 4th and about 5.
Yeah, as a freshman football player, my first game, the coach told me the play. I had to, because you have to run it in. And I was a freshman running back. I go in there, I tell the quarterback to play, and he's like, "I've never heard that before in my life. What did you just say to me?" And
I just made that up.
I had no idea what I was thinking about when I was trying to tell him that play. Now on 4th down, they give it to the big fellow Lewis, trying to bounce it to the outside. Can he find the pylon?
Wow.
Yes, he can. Touchdown, Tech Boston. The big fullback, Kelvin Lewis.
I'd say he's showing some versatility. Like you said, he bounced outside. That play was designed to go off tackle, but watch what he does. He's going to bounce or gets a good block. He got a good block by Harrison. Harrison gave him that seal at the end there and made it easy for Lewis. I'll tell you, Harrison had a nice couple of plays. He had the play that made the 3rd down a very makeable 4th down. Then he had the key block to allow Lewis to score.
Now in the 2-point conversion, they hand off to Harrison, and Jerron cannot get in. So no 2-point conversion for Tech Boston. They lost by 2 points last week, so we'll see if that comes into play later on in the game.
Well, first score of the game, you see West Roxbury came up big on that one.
So 43-yard drive there for the Tech Boston Bears. This time they do capitalize with the touchdown run by Kelvin Lewis. Our sideline reporter Eric Getzoff has an update for us. Eric, what do you got?
Guys, I was over on the Bears sideline. I was talking to their medical staff. Josh Sammy, the lineman who was injured on the opening kickoff, right now is icing his left knee and his lower left leg, which was the problem, which is what he injured on the opening kickoff. The medical staff was checking up on him, trying to see if he can explode from a football stance, which he was unable to do. So right now, he will not be able to come back into the game, and it will remain to be seen if he will be back at all this game.
That's a tough break.
Thanks very much, Eric. You certainly don't want to lose a lineman that early in the first play of the game, but we'll see if he can come back at some point. Pretty good kick there by Tech Boston and fielded by West Roxbury. Good return again. This time it was the Raiders who brought it up to the 42. We got a flag on the play. That was Louis Pena with the return for the Raiders.
Pena shows some good speed, trying to cut to the outside. May have had one of his players turned around with bad block. Flag actually came in late.
I saw a player go low, but I thought it was on the tackle of Pena, so I didn't think it was on a block, but we'll see.
On the kicking team, 10-yard penalty on the previous spot. First.
Block in the back on the
one.
kicking team. I haven't heard that one before. I'm wondering if a player on the kicking team had to push someone in the back to then go make the tackle. That's probably what happened.
Yeah, but it's going to cost them 10 yards.
That's a big penalty. That gets West Roxbury into Tech Boston.
Over midfield, yeah.
Territory at the 48-yard line.
That just adds on to what was an excellent kickoff return. Well, mental errors and physical errors, coaches always hop on this, especially in an elimination game. Come on, guys, use our keys. Let's play basic ball. And that's so far we've seen a bunch of mistakes on both sides here in the first quarter.
So now on first down from the Tech Boston 48-yard line, West Roxbury. And the handoff over the left side. That's Israel Perzume with a nice run to the sideline.
It's going to come back because one of the receivers was not set correctly.
You can see Exelholm trying to tell one of his receivers to line up differently.
Yeah. There's Perzume, as you mentioned, nice run. Too bad it's going to be called back, but good effort.
5-yard penalty, still first down.
So illegal
actually,
procedure.
it was one of the linemen was not up on the line of scrimmage. Yeah, Exelholm, you're right, was trying to tell him to move up a step. Some frustrated coaches on this West Roxbury side.
Yeah, it seems like for the second possession in a row,
telling you, they're
Tech
starting
Boston
off
gave them a
backwards.
fumble in that first possession. Second possession, they get the good kickoff and the penalty. Now they get a penalty of their own. They're backing up again. So the Raiders now faced with a 1st and 15 from their own 46-yard line. Make that the 47.
Now we see Tech Boston switching up their defense. Yeah, they got to call a timeout. Yeah, they, for some reason, right before the snap, Tech Boston just flip-flopped the entire defense. Well, I guess they wanted to protect the wide side of the field because Exelholm, yeah, you don't want to give him a rollout pass run option with all that room. But it did seem that a couple of the defenders were in the wrong spot. So I mean, both. I think what we're seeing, Pat, we've talked about how would the coaches react to like back-to-back games against the same opponent. It seems that they sort of want to out-trick each other because both teams have had, I mean, Tech Boston with the lead so far has been more basic using Cooper and Lewis who got the touchdown, but West Roxbury clearly they're letting everything out. And I think we're going to see some probably
They're emptying the tool bag right now.
Yeah, definitely another of those halfback passes. I don't blame him. You got to get Exelholm the ball and some kind of running room, and he's not going to get that just from a regular snap because there's a linebacker who's just spying him wherever he goes.
Yeah, anytime you talk to Coach Wright, when he refers to Irvin, he talks about him as a playmaker, not necessarily one of those field generals. He's more of a playmaker. He's going to make plays with his legs and his arm.
As a receiver, I remember him the last few seasons.
Yeah,
very good receiver.
1st and 15 for the Westie Raiders from their own 47. Exelholm back to throw. Now he's got to scramble. Down the sideline goes Irvin. He fumbles out of bounds. So they'll mark him down at the 47 of Tech Boston. So just a 6-yard pickup.
But good play because he was at least 10, 12 yards behind the line of scrimmage after this rollout. Watch, he gets forced out. The linebacker is able to force him out of the pocket. Right here, he's going to hit the sideline and make some positive yards before the ball was knocked out, but it's already out of bounds. But that's what Tech Boston knows they have to watch out for the entire game. Whenever he has the ball and has a broken play, he can make something happen.
2nd down and 10 now for the West Roxbury Raiders. Still trying to get their alignment correct. Exelholm now over the middle, trying to squeeze it in there.
It's a double coverage.
Looking for Louis Pena on the play. Pena's just a little guy, probably about 5'8".
But he has good hands, so that's probably one of his favorite receivers. That might have been ill-advised there. The safety looks like he came up and had a chance at that. Stephen Kajusti.
Yeah, Kachar.
Yeah, he was in coverage in front. The other thing about Payne, he's not that tall, so to try to squeeze a ball to him might be a little more difficult.
Yeah, Jakari Seymour also in there to break up that pass. So now it'll be 3rd and 10 for the Westy Raiders. And you don't see them putting themselves in good positions here on 3rd down.
Yeah, I'm just surprised. I really thought we were going another timeout. West Roxbury just having trouble getting the play in on time. I'm just a little surprised that we haven't seen more plays to get Exelholm the ball, whether it's even if it's just a straight quarterback draw or a rollout with the intent to run. A lot of times when you have a quarterback who can run like Exelholm, coaches will just make that a basic play. Roll out, look like a pass run option, but you know if you see any kind of space, just go upfield.
So Wesley now coming out of the timeout with 3rd and 10. With 2:07 left to go in the first quarter, which has been moving slowly here.
Very
with
long first quarter.
Well, a lot of timeouts, a lot of turnovers.
Penalties.
Penalties.
All those situations, the clock stops. It's interesting because you can see the anxiety on both teams with some of the nervousness, some of the miscues that we're continuing to see. It's when those 5 timeouts per half really come in handy.
No question. 3rd and 10 now from West Roxbury. Exelholm off the play action.
Screen pass.
Gets it out to his sophomore tight end, but Johnson's got nowhere to go.
Excellent coverage. Wow.
He actually loses yardage on the play.
That was really done well. As the Tech Boston team, they read the blocking, setting up in front, going to the right. Exelholm comes back to his left, and then screen pass right there. So the blockers are there, but the coming across, defending, Cooper. Good to see him in there defensively. He gets shaken up on one of the offensive plays.
Wesley now ready to punt the football. Pena this time is able to get it off, end over end kick. That's fielded by Tech Boston right around the 10-yard line. That's Laquan Gilks on the return.
Reverses field.
Reverses field down the right side. Gilks makes his way out of bounds right around the 36, so a good return.
Excellent return. Given he looked like he was in a little trouble as the ball was starting to bounce away from him. Did a good job to corral it. Watch this. He's not sure. Once he corrals the ball, right there, stops on a dime, and this is where he reverses his field and has plenty of room. Picked up a block in the middle of the field, but right here, just a matter of running out of room near the sideline. So what's that, like a 25-yard return? Because he was back to about the 10.
So they mark him down at the 37-yard line. And Tech Boston now with the football. 1:06 left to go here in the first quarter. And each time they've had the ball, they've been able to march down the field.
Right,
it's just
a
whether or not they yeah, right.
keep it long enough to get in the end zone. Good job by Lewis to give us our only score.
Lewis again, the deep back this time, and he is nailed at the line of scrimmage. Got a yard on the play, but Israel Presumi coming up as a linebacker.
Watch this tackle, 33, right of your screen. One-on-one, shoulder pad to shoulder pad.
Lewis is not an easy guy to bring down with that size.
Presumi has just met that bulk.
So he picks up 2 on the play. A.J. Cooper is now the quarterback for Tech Boston. So Senna Charles is out for the moment for the Bears.
Well, something different look. The Bears with some of their trick plays.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, Senna Charles is still in there.
Charles is still there, but
Cooper just brought the play in.
Yeah, Cooper was back as the deep back in the eye. There's the pitch.
They pitch it to Cooper, makes a nice cut upfield. A.J. Cooper.
Wow.
Right near the sticks. Very close to a first down. I think he got it.
Yeah, it's going to end the first quarter, but watch this first cut that you talked about, Pat. Right there, boom. You always talk about planting that first foot. Puts you in a different direction. So now they're going to start wind the clock and end the first quarter.
So after 1 here at West Roxbury High School, it is the Tech Boston Bears who lead the West Roxbury Raiders 6-0. Folks, we're going to head to break. When we come back, we'll have the second quarter here on Game of the Week right after these words. Don't go away.
green hat, red hat, oops. Red shirt, blue shirt, yellow shirt, oops. Yellow pants, red pants, green pants, oops.
We just finished dinner and it was time for homework. He hates homework.
It makes no sense.
I don't know how he finds anything in his backpack.
I can't find my backpack.
I couldn't even read his handwriting.
Holding the pencil makes my hand hurt.
I know he's bright.
Why is it so hard for me?
He's
I'm
just
trying
gotta
as
try a
hard
little
as
harder.
I can.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. Go to understood.org, a free online resource with support and tools to help your child thrive.
Welcome back to West Roxbury High School here for the North Division 8 quarterfinals as the West Roxbury Raiders are hosting the Tech Boston Bears here on a beautiful, clear, and crisp night at West Roxbury High. We're right near
crisp
Millennium
is good.
Park.
Put that capital C on that
Yeah,
one
right.
because it's starting to get a little nippy out here.
We'll take this for the end of October.
Oh, no doubt.
We
Oh,
will take this,
boy.
though. We've had some cold games in October before. This one, rather comfortable so far.
Yeah, both teams have got a good sweat going after that first quarter, so their players are comfortable.
Now on first down for Tech Boston, handoff again to Cooper. And AJ continues to fight forward past midfield up to the 46. So
It's impressive how he's
7-yard run.
He just sort of buys his time. Nice little jump cut there. Yeah, defender. That was the XO flew through the air from behind. Still 6-0. Tech Boston in white with the lead and trying to add to it with another grinded out type of drive.
Second down and 2 now, and then you see Lewis
Ooh.
past the 40
Hey,
up to the 37 rather. You got the thunder and lightning combination here with Lewis and
Lewis
Cooper.
has been, you talk about going straight ahead. Tucks the ball in.
Well, Coach Brown mentioned Lewis has sort of that Jerome Bettis feel to him. He wasn't kidding.
It's,
Watching him run here.
I tell you, it's a similar body style and definitely similar running style.
Cooper and Lewis have combined for 120 yards on the ground here in the first half. We still got just under 10 minutes left to go in the second quarter.
Fumble the football.
Santa Charles couldn't handle the snap. Did Westy recover again?
They did.
They
Yeah.
did.
Wow.
So West Roxbury again
Looked like
getting
he
the
was
gift.
jumping right on it, but I guess the lineman was able to snatch it away.
That's the second time here
Roddy.
in the first half that Tech Boston
Marcus
has ruined
Roddy.
a good opportunity. Marcus Roddy recovering the football there for the Raiders.
So that's a killer. So they had something different going. They brought their flanker in motion. Watch the flanker comes in motion across the formation, and they go, oh yeah, Roddy just got lower.
Looked to me like one of the left tackle there for Tech Boston was moving early.
I think that's what the officials are talking about right now, because no one threw a flag.
Yeah, that would be a pre-snap penalty and then negate the fumble.
So I guess they were just making sure. The referee pulled them all together just to make sure that no one saw that, because there was no flag thrown. So
it will be West
Roxbury gets the
Roxbury's
football.
ball, yes,
Wow.
at the 38. While they figure out the chains and everything else here, folks, if you want to follow us on social media, you can check us out on Facebook. Go to Facebook, search for Game of the Week here in Boston. Get a lot of good updates, videos, pictures, what games we're going to be covering over these playoff weeks, over the next couple of weeks. You can also follow us on Twitter at Boston City TV. And if you want to tweet at us, use the hashtag BostonGOW. West Roxbury Raiders recovering a fumble, trailing 6-0 here with 9:31 left to go in the second quarter of the North Division 8 quarterfinals. The handoff this time to Presume.
Oh, nice second effort. Short game, but good second effort by Presume. He's had some nice hits on offense and defense. Had a good run early in the first quarter. Again, he lowers that shoulder.
And they mark him down at the 42. So it was a 4-yard pickup there on first down.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for Exelholm to fake that type of handoff and then scoot the opposite direction.
Now on second down, they hand off to Omo, and Kolawole makes his way past the 45. And they got him right on the 45. No, that was Presume, excuse me.
Presume again, yeah. Looks like West Roxbury is trying to take a page out of Tech Boston's playbook. Back-to-back carries. Set up a third and about, what's that, about 4? Well, maybe a little less, a little more than 3, I guess.
About a 2-yard run there for Presume on that second carry. See what the Raiders do here. Like you mentioned, Alan, do they go with a play action and roll out Irvin Exelholm?
I think it would be wide open if they're going to do it eventually in the game, but whenever it comes, I think it'll be wide open. This Tech Boston defense is really pursuing.
3rd and 3 now for the Westie Raiders. The handoff to the fullback.
It's going to be close, very close. Yeah, first man through that time.
That was Kolawole Omo with the carry.
So she's first man through. He gets hit. Nice dive. Because he actually got hit short of the first down.
I think he's going to be about a yard short.
Yeah, still going to be 4th down. But they're so close to midfield. This is a very makeable. Not much of a risk here.
Fourth down and 1 now for the Raiders. See if they can convert here as Exelholm tries to push forward, and he gets to midfield, and he should have the first down.
Right. It's funny to say, but he actually got that with quickness. I mean, even though it was a big pileup, he was quick enough to get to the opening. Keep going forward. Presume in the 33 helping him from the back.
He went right up the back of one of his offensive linemen. So West Roxbury now with the first down here at midfield. 6:45 left to go in the second quarter.
Okay, Pena bringing the play in. It's just tough when you've had so many miscues with the football. Both teams had a couple of fumbles. Sometimes it makes the coaches a little gun shy in terms of trying to open up the offense.
Now on first down, they fake it to Presume. Exelholm down the right side of the field. Certainly got it out there, but Pena was slowed up down the sideline.
Yeah, Pena had double coverage, both the cornerback and the safety, and looked like they positioned themselves to not allow him to split between them. Because obviously Exelholm was trying to lead Pena, but Pena just could not keep a stride going. See, the cornerback just took away any opportunity for him to keep running. But you take a shot. That makes sense. It'll help loosen up that Tech Boston defensive backfield a little bit. But we know Pena has speed, so it's a matter of whether he can, at some point, get a one-on-one matchup.
West Roxbury also very confident in their sophomore tight end, Brendel Johnson. They got him the ball late there in the first quarter, but didn't have much room to operate. We'll see if he's a featured receiver.
He had the winning touchdown last week. So.
That's right. Second down and 10 now for the Raiders from midfield. Exelholm again back to throw. And he was looking for Johnson there, but the pass was a little long for him.
Oh, they heard you. One of the two, right?
I don't know if Coach Wright said, hey, good idea.
The thing is, that pass, that was a little low, but had he caught it, he had a chance. He would have had a chance to go upfield. So a little low, but he was big enough and was spinning away from the defender.
Another incomplete pass here for the Raiders. Now they're faced with a 3rd and 10. And once again, 3rd and long for West Roxbury.
They want to get at least half of it so they can go for it on the 4th down.
Surprised they didn't give it to Presume at least one of those first 2 downs.
Well, I think they're trying to catch Tech Boston off guard.
Exelholm again back to throw. Looking for an opening down the right side of the field. He's got Johnson.
Ooh.
Ball is knocked away, almost intercepted.
Yeah, see the pressure, good pressure defensively by Tech Boston. Big number 90. Okwalogo. Watch 90. Come to the right of your screen. He's going to break the block, and then see he forced Exelholm to throw it off his back foot, so did not get as much spin on there as he wanted. You're right, Pat. Big change. 3 straight passes. I mean, it's one of those things where in an elimination game, you just never know. Coaches themselves sometimes never know how much they're going to deviate from their regular playbook.
So after another incomplete pass, Westy punting the football, high spiraling kick. And it's fielded right around the 13-yard line.
Ooh.
And a big-time hit on the return as Presume again showing off some physicality.
He's had the 3 biggest hits of the game here in the first half.
That was Gilks on the return one more time.
He had his arm up. I'm not sure if he was trying to call for a fair catch or not, but he started running and watched 33. Woo. Hello.
That was an angry kick coverage there for Israel Presume. If I'm him, I'm getting him the football next time they have the
no doubt.
They have possession.
That's one of those things where you thank goodness for the mouthpiece because he
got racked.
I'll tell you, you talked about in the open. Okay, is West Roxbury going to be a little overconfident with last week's win? And presume he's not. He's playing like
he knows it's the postseason.
He's playing like they're way behind. It's a 1-score game, but the way he's hitting, it's like they're down 2 or 3 scores.
Now on first down, Senna Charles over the right side, and that's almost intercepted in the lap of Louis Pena.
He would have had wide open sideline. Not sure if the light got into it, but the receiver actually jumped for the ball. But you're right. He would have had that entire sideline for a pick 6. We have a penalty. There was some movement. I'm surprised the play wasn't called
defense.
dead.
5-yard penalty, still first down.
So that was actually a free play for Tech Boston.
So the offsides penalty gives Tech Boston a 1st and 5.
Didn't see the penalty flag right away, so I thought it was going to be that makes sense why he threw it, because it made it a free play.
Okay, there was Roaches right there. That's why we saw some of the linemen on Tech Boston's side sort of hesitate. I think they saw that Roaches came over. So 1st and 5 now for the Tech Boston Bears. At their own 17-yard line, they hand off to Cooper.
Cooper, more of the same. But on that formation, Pat, Harrison, who you mentioned moves around a lot, he actually had one-on-one coverage on the wide side of the field. You see some gang tackling again on Cooper. Cooper's a very shifty type runner. We talk about him being patient, but he's also got some power. I mean, he's shown some strength when he's been hit by 2 or 3 Raiders.
Second down and 2 now for Tech Boston. After the 3-yard run from Cooper, they hand off to Lewis. And he should be right on the first down. And they do get the first down.
Lewis has had a very nice half. I mean, he's had some key blocks. Handoff, there you go. Again, three Raiders on the tackle, but Lewis still got enough for the first down.
So Tech Boston now up to the 24-yard line. With 4:22 left to go before halftime.
I think we're going to see Center Childs put the ball in the air pretty soon. This clock is starting to wind down. Second quarter going by much quicker than the first quarter.
Tech Boston still has a couple of timeouts, but they used up a lot there in the first quarter. And once again, it's Lewis with the carry. Breaks another tackle.
Still going.
Kelvin Lewis up to the 37.
It's almost like Lewis is the answer for Presume. I mean, those two guys, they've been the most physical players in the game, one on each side. Look at this. Still, they always talk about keep those legs chugging. He had an additional 8 yards to that run. Look at this. We knew Cooper was going to be special coming in, but Lewis has been a bit of a surprise here in the first half.
Yeah, 72 yards rushing for Lewis. Tack on a few more here. Big time run up
the
middle for Lewis. Breaks free.
Great
What
block.
a block! Wow. Tech Boston well inside the 15.
There's a flag back here at the 40-yard line, but the block you're talking about, Pat, looked like it was clean. But there might have been something else that happened. So it's going to be called back, but Lewis, the big fullback, once he pops this line of scrimmage, he shows some decent speed. Gets out there now. The block, it's off camera, but there's Lewis. He does get run down. Quinones ran him down, but play is going to come back.
Block in the back on the offense.
Huh, that's... Well, I think it was a way. The one we both saw looked like it was right.
It was a clean block.
Yeah,
I think it was behind.
Block. That's a shame because.
We'll see if we get a replay here.
Lewis really. You see.
That's a clean block.
That's a clean block. That's the only one there.
It had to be a different block. It had to be a different block on the backside because that is clearly a clean block. Definitely not a block in the back.
He actually stepped in front before he even made contact.
He hit him in the numbers in the front.
Wow. Talk about Lewis.
The road grader.
Coming into the game.
There it is. Right early there, number 9.
That's, wow. That's
Arlen Shostak, our director, playing referee, pointed that one out.
Found that one. Wow.
Our replay operator, Alex Rios, catching that for us. So number 9,
Mendez,
Jalen Mendez. So first down now for Tech Boston at their own 48. The handoff to Harrison, who makes a nice cut to the outside. Harrison in the open field down to the 31-yard line.
Yeah, we've talked about his versatility. That time they took him from wide receiver and put him in his tailback. Gets off the spot quick with that big, even with that size of his, and watch him cut inside right here.
21-yard pickup there for Harrison.
Nice stutter step to, like you said, 21 yards. Well, I guess I have to rewind what I said. They don't need to pass the ball now the way they're running. I really thought that we were going to see them put it in the air, but still got 2:25 to go before halftime, and they're at, the 30-yard line. Now Harrison's the wide receiver again.
Cooper, the lone back in the backfield. They give it to Cooper, but he's going to be dropped for a big-time loss.
That was a good job.
Roaches getting in there.
It was interesting. A couple of plays ago, one of the coaches actually pulled Roaches over to the side. He told him something. He must have told him to stay under control coming across, and he defeats the block totally. Throws Cooper for a big loss.
So that backs up Tech Boston to the West Roxbury 35-yard line. So about a 4-yard loss on the play.
Okay, so clock.
And they're making a clock correction. They're going to have it at
Please,
1:30.
On the one, ready. We're going to.
Yeah, I think Boston's not going to like that. I mean, they're thinking it's 2 minutes. They're going to lose 30 seconds, which in this situation is key. Well, like you said, they still have 2 timeouts left. And they actually be wanting it. They're going to want it because it was a running play and it stopped. Well, I think Lewis has caught his breath by now because they definitely had to give him a breather after that long run. But he's back. He's in there as the blocking back right next to quarterback.
2nd and 14 now for Tech Boston. And now we have another timeout by
Tech Boston.
the Bears.
Wow, this is
and it had to be a formation mix-up because they just let 25 seconds come off the clock.
You're right, 'cause that was called from the sideline. Had to be formation. This is one of those situations where you really, if you're Tech Boston, if you don't score, you're going to really kick yourself. Never mind the block in the back that prevented Lewis finally got run down inside the 10-yard line.
Tech Boston now faced with a 2nd and 14 from the West Roxbury 35. Minute 05 left to go before halftime. They try to run the sweep to Mendez, and he's got nowhere to go with it. So he's wrapped up in the backfield. Roaches again coming up with the stop.
Roaches has really come up big. After, I guess that was his side, that big run. You see Roaches chasing down from behind, using that length of his. Clock running under what should be running. Yeah. I mean, the way Tech Boston taking the time, this might be the last play of the half.
Yeah, clock is down to 17 seconds.
Oh, the clock is not running correctly because a couple of the linemen here have noticed it.
Right.
It jumped from 17 to 13. So the back judge and the lineman are trying to figure out the clock. Back judge is saying that it's just stopping at the wrong time, but the lineman on our side noticed how it jumped from 17 to 13. So it's for some reason or other, it's going to have to be kept on the field.
Yes, the clock is correct. There's a glitch in the clock, but the clock is correct.
Well,
so this will be the last play of the half.
A contradiction or what? It's a glitch in the clock, but the clock is correct.
Right. Okay.
Well, I like it. Well,
I see what he's saying, though. The actual
that's the best way to make it a short message, right? No, right. Exactly.
The actual
because
time
stops,
ticking down is correct. You're just
no,
not seeing the progression of each second.
Yeah, he's right. The time, exactly. That's exactly what happened because it was stopped at 27, then it started up again. Even though it did jump from 17 to 13, you're right. And when you think of it, and I think that's what the back judge was saying. He's been watching the clock the entire time. The Tech Boston's coaches are upset because they clearly only have one play left.
Yeah, right.
So we are going to see possibly a pass from Senator Charles.
I'm trying to explain this to Coach Brown, who's
he's
certainly upset that he can only run one more play now.
That's exactly what it is. What happened to my drive?
So they're going to take, I believe that's their final timeout.
They use their last timeout. The West Roxbury coaches are saying that should have run out because there was never a timeout called. Now, that's a.
I think the refs are saying because of the clock malfunction, Tech Boston.
There's still 4 seconds left. Right. They have the opportunity to call it.
Correct. I think we got it right up here. I don't know if they have it right down on the field. But
we were
good.
fine.
Yeah, we're in perfect view. We know what's going on.
But boy, I'll tell you, Tech Boston's going to kick themselves. That run by the fullback, getting them inside the 10-yard line, could have been a 2-score game at halftime.
I mean, if they don't score here, Tech Boston's probably saying we should be up at least 3 touchdowns. You had the fumble, the opening possession.
First
you even had a penalty, I think, in their third possession.
Third possession, yeah.
So, I mean, at the very least, they should probably have 3 touchdowns.
Tech Boston has actually done what they wanted to do on offense, but they've hurt themselves.
They've driven up and down the field all game.
Big fumble, that block in the back was a killer. That block in the back, that was worse than the fumble because I'd say I'm really impressed with this Kelvin Lewis.
He runs with authority, that's for sure. So coming out of the timeout, Tech Boston will have 4 seconds left to go here in the second quarter, leading West Roxbury 6-0.
They might have a play where Cooper might throw the ball.
I mean, you got to think Harrison's going to be one of those receivers going downfield.
He'll probably be the main target. We're going to put him, he's coming over toward us.
Exelholm, there you see him in the defensive backfield. He's the safety.
He's the safety. He's the last.
He's the last line of defense.
Right. Okay, yeah. Here's Harrison. He's right in front of us. He's going to be the wide receiver to the left here. Now the cornerback is giving. They're giving Harrison like 25-yard cushion.
You got Lewis and Cooper in the slot. And then Mendez at the top of your screen. So here we go. Send it, Charles. Trying to throw the screen to their tight end. And he has nowhere to go with it.
That's going to end the half.
That's going to end the half here at West Roxbury High.
That's not an unusual play, actually, because the main receiver, we talked about Harrison, was on that side. They were hoping that he would clear it out to give the screen pass a chance to have some running room, but it just didn't work out that way.
So Tech Boston unable to get a score here late in the game, but they're up 6-0 over the West Roxbury Raiders. And as we just mentioned before halftime, Tech Boston's kicking themselves. They should have 3 touchdowns right now.
And you're right. West Roxbury, on the other hand, in their locker room, they're going to say, whoa.
We got through
catch
that
our
one.
breath,
right?
And let's get going in the second half. But you're right. I mean, even with all the miscues on offense for both teams, defenses play really well.
No question.
Really well. That the only score of the half. Excellent, like you always say, ground and pound. That was a perfect example of it. Fullback was able to finish it off. So we'll see. But I think that most of the discussion is going to have to be about protecting the football on offense for both teams.
No question. Covering that football up should be a concern for both squads. Eric Getzoff, our sideline reporter, is down on the field with one of the coaches. Eric, take it away.
Guys, I'm here with Raiders head coach Derek Wright. Derek, the offense not flowing the way that you wanted to. What's been the problem so far?
Well, we started off with a good play to open up the drive, and then it kind of stalled. We're going to try to spread them out a little bit. We've had some success on runs, but penalties kind of neutralize that. So I think if we spread them out, we can actually air it out a little on their defense and kind of hold them at bay a little.
And how do you correct that going into the second half?
We have a couple of formations. We did a few things in practice that we haven't shown yet, and look for it in the second half.
And then lastly, Tech's running game has been all over the place. How do you contain them?
Well, our guys got to man up. They're playing smash-mouth football. We made a few adjustments. Got to get stops. Hey, big boy number 46 is running the ball. We got to cut him down.
You got it. Thanks a lot. Back to you guys.
Thanks very much, Eric. Coach Wright talking about Lewis, who
big boy,
the big fella. I tell you, over 80 yards there in the first half. He's had a heck of a game so far.
He really has. We both were talking about, presumably on the West Roxbury side, his physical play. He has a couple of really outstanding plays. And then on the Tech Boston side, it's been Kelvin he's been punishing people when he runs the football.
Right.
I mean, not just he's gotten about 3 or 4 first downs on his own. Second effort, had that big run. Unfortunately, got called back, but he would have been well over 100 yards in the first half if that play hadn't been hurt by a penalty.
No question. Tech Boston running the football really well, but just 6 points to show for it here at the half. We'll see what kind of adjustments these two teams make. Now, Tech Boston is out of the neighborhood of Dorchester. A lot of rich traditions of sports there in Dorchester. But one of their best programs has been from the MR8 Foundation, and we're going to take a look at the basketball league that MR8 is now sort of organizing and funding as we speak.
At first glance, this might look like a local summer camp, with kids moving to the beat of a bucket drum, playing colorful group activities, and competing in a game of musical chairs. Until you see that these buckets at the Boys and Girls Club of Dorchester are used for more than just instruments and recreational furniture. Good shot! These buckets are an integral part of the Martin Richard Challenger Basketball League, a program that provides physically and mentally challenged youth with a chance to enjoy the benefits of playing the game of basketball. Thanks to the success and popularity of the Martin Richard Baseball League, which was created in the spring of 2014, players and parents saw room for more sports on the challenger level.
Initially, a great member of the community, Brenda McDonough, worked with us at the Boys and Girls Club to found Project Bind, which serves children of all abilities. We think that's really important, a great need in the community. Then it led to the Challenger Baseball program down at Savin Hill Park, and it took off from there. We realized that the families and the children got so much out of it that we needed to think about doing something for every season.
Parents asked for more. They wanted to have another sport. They enjoyed it so much that they really wanted to do something else. So we started the soccer program and partnered with the Richard family to create the Martin Richard Challenger Sports program. And they wanted to have 4 sports. So that's how basketball was created.
Each Sunday during the winter months, Challenger players pile into the Boys and Girls Club of Dorchester to learn the ins and outs of the game of basketball, much like they've done on the baseball diamond.
We do dribbling, we do the cones, we run around, we play an intense game. We like get pennies and we like put them on different teams.
We do one-on-one like dribbling and passing and shooting, and we teach them just like the basics of basketball and let them have a lot of fun.
But with a different sport comes different challenges. So along with the basic basketball skills and scrimmages, the Martin Richard Basketball League also incorporates other recreational activities.
We really try to create activities for the kids for them to have fun and to constantly keep them moving, because we're also inside. It looks different than baseball when you're outside and there's more room to move for the kids. Ross Lilly is the executive director of Adaptive Sport America. So Ross will come in with his team and he thinks of fun ways to keep the kids moving and to make sure that they're being included and to make sure that every kid is able to access the sport. He made the basketball barrels, if you want to call them, for us, because some of our kids weren't able to reach the nets because of mobility issues. He uses the drums and musical chairs as a way to inspire the kids and have fun. You know, music is something that sort of all kids kind of are drawn to, and it's a way to get their attention, to keep them moving. So putting fun activities in with the sport really helps the kids engage more with the sport.
Despite the addition of these unconventional drills, the principal concept of the buddies in the Challenger League remains the same, with friendships being formed both on and off the court.
Isn't that something, though, the buddies? That's a whole other aspect of the program, which is pretty amazing. So we have volunteers from the community, and they pair up as buddies with the participants in the program. First of all, the participants are getting a new friend, which is a great thing. The buddies are definitely learning how to work with children who have varying needs.
We want them to get to know each other. We want them to somehow form some kind of a friendship. So if they're at the supermarket and they see their buddy, they're giving each other a high five now. You know, we're all in the community together to show that, well, now I see this kid, he's a player. I've been supporting him on Sundays, playing basketball, playing soccer, playing baseball. Now I see them in the community, and now I appreciate all the strengths that he has. The family who has a child with a disability, to be able to see someone in the neighborhood to now have that person say hi to their child, it really means a lot to the family.
Basketball, I'm just horrendous. I just dribble the ball around. But there's not a lot that you need to know about the sports to be able to coach it. I mean, you know, once you get the drills down and things like that, it's a lot of opportunity to get to know kids, get to know the buddies, and meet people that are, you know, interested in something similar.
My buddy Lidiani, she likes to talk about her hair. She likes to talk about movies like Frozen. She talks about anything anything. It's a really humbling experience to get to see them, like how much fun they have and how proud they are of themselves, because it gives them an experience they otherwise might not have gotten to have.
Sometimes we socialize about stuff like colleges or whatever, or we like talk about things related to basketball.
But perhaps the greatest joy during this experience comes from the Challenger players' parents, who pack the stands at the Boys and Girls Club each week to watch their kids play a sport that once seemed unreachable.
The program's for the kids. That's why we designed this program. That's why it exists. But what the parents get out of it is absolutely amazing. A lot of them never thought they'd see their child participate in a sporting event, and all of a sudden they're playing sports year-round, and it means so much to them. It really does. I hear very often firsthand from the parents. They're so thrilled and grateful that their kids have the opportunity.
As a parent, it really makes you laugh when you see them doing it, just because it's fun. It's fun stuff, very basic things to teach them some very basic skills, how to get along and to be good friends.
While the Martin Richard Challenger League has spread across multiple sports, league administrators believe the growth of this essential sports program has just begun. And for the MR8 Foundation to continue its mission of providing all of our youth with the chance to play sports, supporters will look to extend the league's reach well beyond the neighborhood boundaries of Dorchester.
The Richard family really wants to be able to grow the Martin Richard sports program into other neighborhoods, into other states, really to have it go across the United States. So it's something that we're working with the family right now to build a toolbox, to build some kind of a kit where if there's someone from another neighborhood who wanted to do either one of these sports or all of these sports, we're working on building this toolkit right now to be able to give this to another neighborhood so other folks can do what we're doing as well.
They have the Challenger League out at the Dorchester Boys and Girls Club. And one thing we don't often mention about that program is that PAL is involved as well. So a lot of cops are there to work with the kids, especially in the basketball court. You saw one of the cops actually playing defense with her radio on one side and playing one of the players. Really nice program out there.
A lot of volunteers, it just really make it work.
No question. Yeah. Really nice program there at the Dorchester Boys and Girls Club. Let's take a look at the halftime stats here at West Roxbury High. And first up, we'll take a look at the Raiders.
We're talking about presented with his physical play, 35 yards, 4 carries. Exelholm, only 3 carries so far, 13 yards. Receiving, Exelholm had that first play of the game, a 30-yard screen pass. Not much passing. Pena threw once. Exelholm's thrown 7 times. Exelholm is going to get going in the second half with trying to throw the football.
Let's take a look at Tech Boston
Tech
stats.
Boston, Lewis, boom, boom, boom. 87 yards, has the only score of the game on 9 carries. 59 yards for Cooper. We'll probably see him double those 8 carries for the second half. And then the Senate Childs, I was a little surprised, only threw the ball once for 10 yards.
So there are the stats there for both those squads. We're just about ready to start the third quarter here at West Roxbury High. We'll see if we can squeeze in some highlights there of Kelvin Lewis, as the big fella was really chugging up some yardage there in the first half.
You said Jerome Bettis incarnate,
That's
right? I like this one. He ran through the cornerback, then got up to the sideline and didn't get stopped to get thrown out of bounds. Here's his touchdown. Good job as he kept the angle toward the sideline. And this play here is, again, he got like 8 yards after the initial hit. And of course, the tough part is the biggest play of the half for him was actually called back. Oh, his knee went down. Wow, that's a bad break.
Yeah, Presume had to go low to catch the ball. And they're going to mark him down at the 17.
Boy, he had some running room, too.
He was so excited to bring that thing back.
You know, it was so close, Pat. I really wondered if it did hit. I'm sure he knows the rule. Just watch this. Now, he has to go down, like you said.
Oh, his knee was definitely down.
Yeah, that right knee was down. Wow.
And Israel's been
That's a tough way to learn the rule, I'll tell you that.
No question. I'm surprised he didn't know that rule.
He had 30 yards in front of him, at least. He actually ran 15 yards before the whistle was blown. The West Roxbury sideline, they're upset because it was right in front of them. He had a wall of blockers, and as physical as he's been playing tonight, he probably could have got to midfield pretty easily. Well, we'll see. Tech Boston's got to be keying on him now.
The Raiders now going with that spread formation that Coach Wright talked about at the half.
Hey, these guys are moving. You can tell it's a new formation.
They give it to Presume here on first down. And he's got nowhere to go with it. It's Tech Boston stacking the line of scrimmage.
That's clearly one of their adjustments because it seemed like they didn't really have much of a spy on him. Watch this. The first half, he was breaking these initial tackles. But right here, we talked about that big number 90 for Tech Boston a couple of times. Okwalogo playing a good game. Really big fella. He's a junior.
Yeah, he's about 6'5", 250.
He's
Coach Brown's happy he's got him for one more year. He has a very long first name, so they just call him C.
Yes. Last name's not short either.
Okwalogo, yes.
Call him CO, huh? He's making a name for himself, I'll tell you that.
No question.
He's had a couple of nice plays.
Second down and 9 now for West Roxbury.
That's the play I was waiting for.
Exelholm on the quarterback keeper, and he's dragged out of bounds.
Good defense.
Right at the line of scrimmage.
See, that Tech Boston team should be excited about that because that's the first time we saw there's the fake to the right, and here comes Exelholm by himself looking for some open room. The linebacker forces him about 12 yards behind the line of scrimmage. By the time he does all that running, he has a 2-yard gain. That's good alertness. Stay in your lanes. Let's give some credit. Anton Houghton on that play, number 30 for Tech Boston, made that play defensively. We've seen Exelholm take a play like that, turn it into a 30, 40-yard gain.
No question. Yeah, he had a 57-yard touchdown run earlier in the season. So he can certainly break them. So once again, West Roxbury faced with a 3rd and long, 3rd down and 9.
Well, the coach told us there are going to be some new formations. You're seeing Tech Boston try to jump around to cover everybody.
Exelholm over the middle of the field.
Wow.
He's got his receiver.
Whoa!
And the ball is dropped once again. That was Jose Davila Quinones one more time. He made a nice route, and the ball was slightly short, but it was there.
Oh, yeah, that was definitely catchable.
Right on the 2.
It's like the 2 knocked it. It looked like the number 2 knocked it down, right?
The poor kid, too. He's going to the sideline, wanting to bury his head into the sand.
The fact that the ball was slightly underthrown, he probably
had to slow up a little bit.
But he ran it perfectly, got behind the cornerback.
Westy again having to punt, end-over-end kick. That's fielded right around the 47 here by Harrison. Oh, sorry, that once again is
That's 3. That's
Marcus Gonzalez on the return that time, and showing off the speed there.
As
he's marked down at the 35.
Attacks the ball, gets it, hits the sideline, is able to tack on a nice return.
Coach Raul Brown for Tech Boston has been very strict about his practice policy this season. He hasn't liked the way that some of his seniors have been arriving late to practice, so Gonzalez actually missed the practice, so he will not be playing offense for this game for that specific reason. And even though we saw the type of ability that Marcus has there, Coach Brown is trying to stick to his policy and not allow him to play offense. First down now for Tech Boston at the West Roxbury 35. A handoff to Cooper. And A.J. is corralled after a 5-yard gain.
Finally gets out of bounds.
Make that a 6-yard gain for A.J. Cooper.
Yeah, I wonder if that might be a Jai, actually. A.J. Some of them pronounce it differently.
Yeah, I think they call him A.J.
A.J. is a nickname.
As a nickname.
Yeah. I'll tell you, this is an important defensive stand for West Roxbury. I mean, they got the ball to start the third quarter, couldn't do anything with it, had that tough drop, but they can't be putting their heads down and letting Tech Boston get a 2-score lead. They're offside again.
2nd and 4, Senator Charles going to Harrison.
Might have been some contact.
Yeah, I think it'll be encroachment. We'll see what the head ref has to say.
Even with that, well,
on the deep, we'll get first down.
Yeah, that's like you said, Pat. Because there was contact, it wasn't a free play. But like the fact that Senator Charles went through with it, put it out there for Harrison, and nice play for Gonzalez to come by and knock it down. I think Tech Boston's changing their snap counts.
Now on first down, it's Cooper
nice
again.
cut.
This time,
Wow.
straight up the gut is Cooper into the end zone. Touchdown, Tech Boston Bears.
Yeah, he made a cut at like the 20-yard line and just shook like 2 defenders.
A.J. Cooper.
That was special. Watch this, about 5 yards here. Right there. He makes a cut. And that's just all free running after that.
It's his 8th total touchdown of the season, 7th rushing TD for Ajayi Cooper. And he puts the Tech Boston Bears on top, 12-0. Here with 7:20 left to go in the third quarter.
Now going for the 2-point conversion again. Yeah, that was special. I mean, the way he jumps and cuts reminds me of the runner from Pittsburgh, Bell. They sort of jump
patient,
into the
right.
And 2-point conversion try is.
Cooper again in the backfield. They try the shovel pass inside.
The ball just wasn't thrown quick enough. The idea was there, but for some reason, Senator Charles just didn't throw it quick enough. It sort of floated. Cooper had to wait for it and then wait to get mauled. Watch this. He's just floating in the air. By the time he gets it, he's going to get crushed. Yeah, there you go. That's the big fellow again, the tight end, and defensive back, the Roaches. Defensive end and tight end.
Just heard one of the coaches. I'm not sure
too many guys are watching.
Right.
Yeah,
I just heard one of the coaches say, one guy's hitting and 10 guys are watching.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it was one of the Tech Boston coaches because they got beat on that play there.
I'm telling you, it's.
But again, Tech Boston, they've been so executing well offensively, but they haven't made these 2-point conversions. We talked about how they probably should have 2 more touchdowns.
Let's see if it comes back to hurt them.
This could come back to bite them if West Roxbury is able to get anything going.
If West Roxbury can get Exelholm going, they can get back in this game very quickly. And like you said, if they do score and get the 2-point conversion, they can take a lead with their second score.
No question.
These conversions are huge, and over the course of the season, we see a lot of these teams get hurt or helped by either making them or missing them.
Yeah, last week we saw how both these teams scored 2 touchdowns against one another, but it was Westy who had both 2-point conversions, and they won by 2. Now it's Quinones fielding it right around the 30, and he's going to get dragged out of bounds at the 33. You can tell after dropping that pass, he really wanted to make a nice return.
Yeah, but he was smart about it. I mean, didn't get too crazy. That's just tough for me. You go back and then see Quinones is really feeling bad now because he's thinking, well, if I caught that, the drive stays alive, don't have to punt, we're not down 12-0. But gotta let that go. Still got a quarter and a half to play. They're going to Roaches off for what I'm sure will be a short break. He's played well on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, he's been a monster out of that defensive end spot.
He's only a junior also. Yeah, so he'll be back.
Yeah, so you got him and Johnson as the 2 tight ends next season.
They just got to find a new quarterback.
Right. for the 3rd year in a row.
I was wondering, looking at the reading up on the game, the thought occurred to me, does Exelholm sort of feeling bad that he didn't go to quarterback earlier? Because the coach wanted him to be a quarterback when he was a freshman.
No question.
There's that same screen pass to Exelholm.
Oh, what a catch by
catch.
Irvin Exelholm. Coming down with it right around midfield.
Good job.
That ball was thrown well behind Exelholm, but he went up and got it.
Yeah, I think it slipped. Same play we started the game with. Okay, the pitch. Here comes Pena. See, I think that slipped out of his hand because it has a little bit of wobble to it. But like you said, great play by Exelholm to go up, going for a rebound, make the catch, and then take on this, 2, 3, 4 defenders.
17-yard pickup there for West Roxbury. The two most successful plays offensively
the 30-yarder first to open
have been
the game.
these two halfback passes.
Yeah. First one was for 30, this one's for 17, but gets them in just close to midfield, and big first down because that to not do anything on the opening kickoff is very disappointing.
The pitch it over the right side this time to Pena. Louis Pena with a little bit of a crease as he gets up to the 48.
I'll tell you, the Tech Boston defense spread that out pretty well. They strung it out. Again, we've talked about Antoine Houghton a couple of times, number 30. He's the main guy who made Pena just keep going sideways instead of trying to cut it up.
I mean, that was
he's right there. He's the one who took the sideline away.
That was essentially the same play as the halfback pass,
Exactly,
except that
right.
Pena kept it.
Yeah.
So
that's the variation.
Right.
The coach wasn't. I guess the coach was telling us the whole plan for the second half. New formations, couple of different plays.
Right. Open up that whole bag of tricks.
Yeah, we've seen it so far.
We just saw Coach Adelson Cardozo, who's the offensive coordinator for the Westie Raiders. Back when Hyde Park High School was still around several years ago, Cardozo was the head coach there.
Yeah, the Hyde Park building is now a new mission. So things change over the years.
A lot of things have moved around, so to speak. Exelholm flipping it over there to Omo, who's making a nice play. He stepped out of bounds.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
At the 45.
Yeah, I think he was watching the
just a short
defender.
pickup.
He was watching the defender instead of watching the sideline. See, he does step out of bounds right there.
Yep, definitely right there.
Because he was trying to cut back into the middle of the field. that was a lateral, too. That was a behind, a pass behind Exelholm. So
another short pickup there. So 3rd down and 6 now for the Westie Raiders.
Well, winding down to 5 minutes, this is going to be 4-down territory, down 2 scores. Obviously, West Roxbury has to score, but just as importantly, they want to keep the ball away from the Tech Boston offense.
So 3rd down and 6 now for the Raiders here with 5:12 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Westie with the ball at the 46 of Tech Boston. They get him to jump.
Good job.
And that's going to give them a 3rd and 1.
Exelholm. So we've seen Tech Boston do this throughout the game. Change their cadence, make it a longer snap count, and the over-anxious defenders on the other side give you 5 free yards. Right side of this defense, here you go. Coming across, and that was linebacker. He made sure he got a little bit of hit, too.
Right.
Cherry, Ricardo Cherry, yeah. He sort of made sure that, well, let me get something out of this anyway.
So Westie now faced with a 3rd and 1. Last time they had a 4th and 1. Exelholm just took it over
himself.
center. Wouldn't be surprised if that happened here. You're seeing the defensive tackles for Tech Boston.
There he goes.
There he goes again. Much bigger pickup this time as he gets up to the 38-yard line. Took a big hit, but he's right back up.
I think he's probably a little frustrated. Not really showing it much because he has to stay under control, but he knows that he can make big plays. Those 2 screen passes, like the halfback screens, 47 yards in the 2 plays, but not particularly that same play, but some more trick plays to try to catch Boston off balance.
Yeah, Westy takes a timeout here. 4:51 left to go in the third. Let's take a look at the standings here during the regular season. As in the Boston North, you see West Roxbury right there at 4-2. Tech Boston at 3-4. But as you mentioned, Alan, with this new playoff system, teams under 500 are making the playoffs. So Tech Boston getting another chance here this evening.
And they're making the most of it. I mean, give them credit. They came out, like I said, surprisingly to me, because we're at West Roxbury's at home. So I'm a little surprised that Tech Boston came out a little sharper, a little quicker, but and gave them the lead in the first half.
Now on a first down from the 39-yard line, it's Exelholm with the pitch out to Omo. Kolawole, nowhere to go. Tech Boston gang tackling here in the third quarter.
So this Tech Boston team is fired up, and they're very aggressive defensively, but they're not losing their locations. That they're taking care of their areas. You see on the pitch, actually that time the defense did break down a little bit, but the defensive backfields came up and made the play.
One-yard loss on the play there for the Raiders. We'll take a look at the Boston South standings. And Charlestown with a very surprising year. They've had a tough time over the last couple of seasons, but finished the regular season at 5-1. They're actually the 4 seed in the Division 8 North bracket. New Mission is the 5 seed. So Charlestown hosted New Mission tonight in their playoff game. So Charlestown goes from barely getting a win or two over the last couple of seasons to going 5-1 during the regular season. Big time season turnaround here for Charlestown.
Graduation changes everything.
Exelholm down the right side of the field. It's broken
nice play.
up.
Good play. Defensive wallet. Timed it perfectly.
Shikari Seymour.
Yeah, Seymour did an excellent job. That a little underthrown, like you said. Let's see the wobble of the ball. But, again, Seymour gets right in there and knock it away.
Pena's got to be saying, if I were 6 feet tall.
No, what? That's exactly
because he runs nice routes. He went up to get the ball too. It wasn't like he was standing flat-footed there, but he's at 5'8" or so. It's tough to go up and get it.
You're only going to go so far.
Right.
And good timing that time by Seymour defensively. You talked about Charlestown, Pat. You're right. They're New Mission tonight. And as a matter of fact, the winner of this game is going to have another Boston opponent next week, either Cathedral or Excel. So,
yeah, Excel, another team who right around 500 this year, picked up a couple of wins.
Yeah.
We've done Thanksgiving games where they've come in without any wins on the season. So I think that Thanksgiving game is going to be a little different this year with them. East Boston struggling this season. We'll have that at the end of the year. Exelholm now finding his receiver over the right side. That's the sophomore tight end, Johnson, down near the 17-yard line.
You mentioned the 2 tight ends for West Roxbury, Pat. Now we're seeing Johnson make a huge play on a 3rd and 11. Nice rollout. Got to respect his ability to run. Zip that pass. Nice spiral. Like that one. That was a nice pass. Pass and catch. Looks like a shaken up Tech Boston Bear. Looks like a cramp. He's trying to stretch out his left leg. I think he has a thigh cramp there.
Not sure if that's Ricardo Cherry, I believe.
That's who it is. Yeah, that's Cherry. He's grabbing his calf.
So if that's a cramp, Coach Brown's saying, how come you didn't hydrate better today?
Run over there, get some water.
Right.
Yeah, I think he's told him it's just a cramp.
Yeah.
Otherwise, training will be checking him out. But the cramp will just, he'll just stop you in your tracks.
Right. I think it is a cramp.
Yeah, he's just going to walk it off. Yeah, actually, the coach is happy it's only a cramp.
Yeah, no question.
He may be a couple of plays to be back in there. But let's go back to West Roxbury. Big play. Yeah, we may look back on that as one. If they can get back in this game, we'll probably look back on that as one of the biggest plays. A 3rd and 11.
Could have been a game changer there. Westy now going again with that spread formation. We got Quinones and Johnson spread to the left, and then Roches to the right. The handoff to Presume, and he fumbles the ball.
Wow.
He was able to recover. He had a lane, too.
He did.
I think
And
his eyes got
he was
big.
Looking at that. He was looking at that opening. You're right. He just didn't tuck it in. Watch this. Like you said, boom. It just didn't pull it in correctly, and actually hustled to get it back. But I'd say that this new formation they've been running the second half leaves Exelholm with just minimum protection. So I think that part of the philosophy is that Exelholm's such a good athlete, he can create something, and even if the blocking breaks down, he has that escape ability because he can run. So they're taking the sort of, they're rolling the dice that receivers downfield can get open and Exelholm can find them. Now this is definitely minimum protection here. They got two receivers on both sides. They got a slot and a wide receiver on each side, right and left.
Second down and 11 now for the Raiders. Exelholm again rolling to his right. Again looking for a receiver. He's got to throw it away.
No, I'm not sure.
He was definitely out of the pocket. I don't know if he got to the line of scrimmage.
That's what they're trying to figure out right now.
We'll see if they throw a penalty flag.
One of the coaches from Tech Boston is pointing to the spot. This is what I was talking about. Exelholm, without much protection, has to make a play. Once it breaks down, he's got to make that play with his legs. They're actually talking about it to see who may have seen with the ball. Okay, now they got all five of them.
And they do have a flag now, so we'll see what the penalty is. I'm sure it'll be
intentional grounding.
Intentional grounding.
That's a bad one because, it's like you said, he was definitely out of the pocket, but he's got to get the ball at least back to the line of scrimmage. So that's going to be a penalty and loss of down. So, that it's a big deal to lose the down, but they're obviously in 4-down territory anyway. Sometimes you can lose your perspective of where you are on the field. Clearly, he just wanted to throw it away, but he's got to get it back to the line of scrimmage at least. Yep, lost it down.
It's going to be third down.
Still was what they.
They're down in 16 now for the Raiders.
Yeah, it should be 16 because they hit the 5-yard walk-off. So we got to give some credit to this Tech Boston defense. Whenever they've needed a stop, they've gotten it.
It's been sort of a bend but don't break type of defense. Third and 16 now for Westy. Exelholm having trouble with the snap, and then Presume was nowhere near able to get that pass.
The linebacker closed on him with perfect timing.
Yeah, Devondre
Morgan, without interfering, timed it perfectly. Watch 50. He's right there. He's timing it perfectly, and just as soon as he sees the ball,
it did hit.
Gives Presume a shot.
Yeah, hit Presume in the hand, so Morgan was all over it. If he wasn't there, that would have gone for a huge gain.
So fourth down now. Yeah, loss of down really comes in big here for West Roxbury. Helps the defense. Puts a lot of pressure on Exelholm. Yeah, it's tough to have that. We had that kind of change in the formation. The offensive linemen, the 5 linemen up there for West Roxbury, that's all of your blocking. Because they're sending the running back out into the passing pattern.
4th and 16 now for the Westy Raiders. Exelholm looking over the middle, and the ball is incomplete. He's looking for Roaches. Roach is looking for a flag.
Yeah, he would have been well short even if he caught it. I mean, that was tight end over the middle. Surprised they didn't go back to the other tight end play that they had to see how far he was.
Yeah, there's Johnson at the bottom of your screen.
Right. Well, the adjustment that Tech Boston made, once they sort of got used to that wide set spread offense for West Roxbury, they did a much better job coming after Exelholm. Much more aggressive pass rush.
And now Tech Boston, with the way they've been running the football, they can just
kill
pound
a lot
it
of clock
with Kelvin Lewis and A.J. Cooper. Probably mostly Lewis here late in the third quarter. St. Charles back to throw.
Screen.
To the right side, he's got Cooper who slips a tackle.
Oh, nice play.
A.J. Cooper down the sideline. He's shoved out of bounds, past the sticks. Going to be another first down for Tech Boston. They've been able to move the football easily.
So they're running nice, safe passes rather. This is a pass play. Cooper gives him a chance to make something on his own. One of the few times, presumably, he missed a tackle.
So they'll mark him down at the 39.
He's a tricky runner.
Yes. You mentioned that Le'Veon Bell sort of patient and then makes the cut type of runner. On first down, they hand it off to Cooper. And A.J. makes his way up to the 45.
See, when he's going between tackles now, he's putting two arms on the ball. Had that early fumble in the first quarter. Watches the second arm go over it now.
6-yard pickup there on first down for A.J. Cooper. And Tech Boston will probably run one more play before the end of the quarter.
Oh, they're feeling good right now. Yeah, they're really feeling in total control. I mean, it's only 12-0, but it just seems like it's more because the defense of Tech Boston is really bottled up the passing game of West Roxbury.
Now on second down, they give it off to Cooper again. Oh, I'm sorry, that's Lewis with the carry.
Yeah, you can, halfway
How can I make that mistake?
No, but halfway through the run, you can see who it was.
Right,
You can see just by the style.
Just by the style and the size of the shoulder pads, I think. Kelvin Lewis, the road grader.
He ran up the back of one of his own linemen.
10-yard pickup there for Lewis.
That's
first
be the
down.
Quarter. Wow, this is.
And that is the end of the third quarter here at West Roxbury High School. North Division 8 quarterfinals. Tech Boston on top of Westy, 12-0. In large part to this young man, A.J. Cooper. We'll be right back with the fourth quarter here on Game of the Week. Don't go away, folks.
We just finished dinner and it was time for homework.
He hates homework.
It makes no sense.
I don't know how he finds anything in his backpack.
I can't find my backpack.
I couldn't even read his handwriting.
Holding the pencil makes my hand hurt.
I know he's bright.
Why is it so hard for me?
He's
I'm
just
trying
gotta
as
try a
hard
little
as
harder.
I can.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. Go to understood.org, a free online resource with support and tools to help your child thrive.
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back to West Roxbury High School here for the North Division 8 section quarterfinals as the West Roxbury Raiders trail the Tech Boston Bears 12-0. We're just about ready to start the fourth quarter with Tech Boston having the football at West Roxbury's 45-yard line. And Tech Boston now with a 1st and 10, and they're in full control here as they can try to ground and pound and kill this clock here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, you're right. Control of the ball and the clock.
And on first down, the handoff to Lewis again with another nice run. Kelvin Lewis still on his feet.
He ran over the safety. Wow. He's just, look at his feet, he's fired up. That's the same slant play that they scored a touchdown on. They were a lot closer for that, but that end gets sealed. Defensive end gets caught inside. Exume overruns it. Watch him just run over this last defender.
28-yard run there for Lewis.
Talk about a 1-2 punch.
Mark him down at the 18.
He's over 100 yards, and Cooper has like 95.
Lewis with 116 yards on the ground and still looking for more. This time he's dragged down after a couple.
Yeah, they're staying with that play. It's a simple slant play to the left. Like I said earlier, that was the first touchdown of the game. And now he's hit this for 2 big plays. For some reason, that time, see, Roaches got caught inside. He's the defensive end on that side. He got caught inside the last 2 plays. Got to come across straight. You're anxious. You want to be aggressive because they're running so well, but you've got to come across under control to not give him that angle to the sideline. I tell you, take Boston. Having that 2-point loss last week, you can tell they really prepared themselves. They did some things slightly differently. It's like they're just a more confident team. You see them, jumping out of the huddle.
Yeah, they're firing off the line a little bit better up front. Now 2nd down and 9. Senna Charles over the middle, and he was looking for Harrison.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one. He tried to catch people by surprise, but Harrison had like 3 defenders in front of him.
That also stops the clock here with 9:47 left.
The safety's trying to say that Harrison was pushing off. You don't really see it there, but that's a little surprise. I mean, I mentioned earlier that they've been throwing the ball, but it's been safe. They've been throwing screen passes and getting yards. But that time, like you said, they were trying to catch Harrison, catch the defense sleeping and get Harrison on a touchdown.
So Senna Charles now 3 for 7 throwing the football. They're on 3rd and 9. They hand off to Harrison. Breaks 1 tackle, and he is dropped out of bounds after picking up a couple.
Oh, he was smart. He actually stayed in bounds. The clock's going to keep running. They didn't get the pass to him, so give him a running attempt. Here he goes with that size of his. It's deceiving. It's a smart play to stay in bounds, plus reach the ball out.
I was going to say, he was right. Roaches made that tackle, and Carlos Roaches is a big kid.
He would throw him out of bounds. Yeah.
Harrison was right next to him. He's not that much smaller than Carlos Roaches. Harrison, there you see him there. He's the tallest guy in the huddle. He is a big
really
kid.
Versatile player. Well, you mentioned him in the open. You said that he's a very versatile. We've seen him play tight end. We've seen him play slot. We've seen him play tailback.
Yeah, now he's split out wide at the right side of your screen. Senna Charles.
Going to
be sacked in the backfield, and clock should be stopped as that's a turnover on downs.
Right. Well, we talked about big defensive plays. We still got 8:46 to go, so they come across. That's Exelholm on blitz. Okay. Talk about selling out. Yeah, that's where you needed it. To take over now Exelholm can get his offense back on the field.
Yeah, Steven Garcia in there on the stop as well.
Yes, Garcia came on the inside rush to give Exelholm a chance to curl around, and the 2 of them made the sack. So let's see if West Roxbury can finally get something going. I think it's going to take a big play. They, at least like a 30, 35-yard gain. They're going to bring the tight end out. They're putting in their sort of quick package of receivers. They already had, Quinones has been out there. Pena's been out there. They're bringing, there's another, 2 wide receivers on the opposite side.
Now on 1st down from the Tech Boston 35, or from the Westie 35, and we get a flag that's going to be probably illegal motion or illegal formation on West Roxbury.
Yep.
Or too many men, maybe. We'll see what the head ref has to say.
Legal procedure. Well, I mean, that's really a killer because we had to change of possession time to sort of get things in order. Because they're going to bring 1 tight end back in. it's Johnson. All right. Exelholm saying they're 1 man short. All right, so
now Pena's got to go back in.
Come back in.
So 1st and 15 now for the Raiders. We've got to get something going on this drive.
They need a big play. Either Pena or Quinones has got to get something downfield.
Now on 1st down, Exelholm over to Pena, who's got a little bit of space. No, that's Presume. Israel Presume making his way up to the 28.
He's always going to give a good effort. And that screen pass, that time he was a little over anxious and actually outran one of his blockers, but got what he could. Exelholm did a decent job because there was somebody covered. He got some pressure. Watch Presume he has his blockers in front, trying to set them up, but got what he could, then it's done.
Yeah, Robert DeLoach was the one applying pressure.
Yeah, one of the linemen for West Roxbury injured on the play, being helped out by a couple of his teammates. So Nathaniel Rosa.
Here on 2nd down, Exelholm up to Pena, and another nice defensive play from Laquan Gilks coming up with the deflection.
It was closing the ball well because Exelholm made the play by being able to fake out what could have been another sack. Watch him as he rolls out. See, again, like I'm saying, minimum protection. See, he fakes that right there, but then that extra time makes the pass a little late, allowing Gilks to come across and get the knockdown. See, one of those plays, Exelholm's just going to have to tuck it and keep it. Just get what he can because they facing a 3rd and 6. Yeah. He's got to keep in his mind that, all right, if my man's not open, I've got to make it on my own. Because they need 1st downs to keep this drive going.
Yeah, if somebody's going to make a play here for Westy late in the 4th quarter, it's going to be Exelholm. Either throwing or with his legs. 3rd and 11 now for West Roxbury. Or 3rd and 6, rather. Almost intercepted. That would have been a pick 6.
Yeah, I'll tell you, that's same.
Anton Houghton.
Houghton again.
Read that beautifully.
That's the 3rd time we've called his name on that similar type of play. He's reading these so well. And some pressure defensively coming from Harrison. Pressure on Exelholm. Harrison came clean. Look at Houghton. Houghton says he's feeling good because I guess he's realizing, wow, the coaches are right. They told me to be here and it's working.
Right. They told me to be here and I almost had an interception. I guess they do know what they're talking about.
Yeah, I better listen more often.
4th down and 6 now for West Roxbury.
They're actually going to punt.
And they are going to punt the football. End over end kick for Pena that goes out of bounds. Right around the 45-yard line, 44, 42.
That was strange. One official saw it was out of bounds, but the back judge didn't see it.
Yeah,
so
it was clearly out of bounds. Right. We saw it
bounced
right
out
in front of us. Yeah.
Well, we can't say I'm surprised with the punt. I mean, if you give the ball up that deep in your own territory,
you might as well kiss this game goodbye, right?
It might be another. You bounced out of bounds.
Yeah, that was well out of bounds.
But defensively, you've got to, we talked about selling out defensively, meaning basically you're blitzing, you're leaving your defensive backs one-on-one. Run blitz to stop the running. Also hope to, I'm surprised that Tech Boston's even throwing the ball, but when they go into that pass formation, you've got to, West Roxbury got to take chances looking for a sack. Toughest part is you've got 2 strong runners, Cooper and Lewis, who know how to hold on to the ball in contact because they're getting wrapped up by 2 or 3 of the defenders, but it's just about time now.
Now on first down, the handoff to Lewis again, and again Lewis is cut down
Nice tackle.
at the line of scrimmage. Irvin
Beautiful tackle.
Exelholm coming up with the stop.
Oh, this is an example of Exelholm taking out his frustrations on offense, on the defensive side. Watch this. One of the few times all game we've seen Lewis taken down by one guy. There you go. Perfect. Yeah, perfect. Shoulders to the thighs.
We got fans here for West Roxbury braving the slightly cold weather with the blankets and
the puppy looks more excited.
No sweater for the dog though. The dog's got to be freezing.
He lost his hat somewhere, right? I think somebody took it.
Right. Every man,
blanket, right.
Every man in K9 for themselves.
For themselves tonight. Yeah, grow some more of that hair.
Second down and 9 now for the Tech Boston Bears, and they got almost a fumble there as Harrison. Or Lewis, rather, with an angry run up to the 40.
I tell you, he has
17-yard pickup.
He has had a.
He really has.
The strangest thing, well, it shouldn't be strange, but there is a fumble. You're right, Pat. It wasn't a bobble. As soon as he got it back, though, he was off and running, back in full stride. I mean, he started the game off as the blocking back. He threw in a couple of nice blocks. And it's funny, sometimes a coach or offensive coordinator, if you start the game off as a fullback and you do your job by executing some good blocks for your tailback, then they'll give you a chance to run the ball.
Sure.
He's taking full advantage of it. His very first run was for first down.
And a lot of times, if you're a linebacker, see this fullback keep coming at you as a blocker, you got to shed him. And then he comes and sort of surprises you with the ball.
And he's running over you.
And makes you think for a second, and then he runs over you. And as a defender, too, it's just you just take a pounding when you're trying to tackle a guy like that.
As you feel like you're just going backwards. Senator Child's going to keep this one. I think he might have missed the handoff.
So Senator Charles makes something out of nothing.
Yeah, timeout from West Roxbury. They've got to stop the clock down to 5:22. Yeah, he just missed the handoff. So he kept that one. Wow.
Talk about Kelvin Lewis, 11 of his carries. Of now 14 carries total, 11 carries now have been over 10 yards for Kelvin Lewis. He has been picking up huge chunks of yardage all night long. And
don't forget the 60-yarder that got called back.
That's right. He would have close to 200 yards right now. He's got 148, so we'd have well over 200.
Yeah.
You think about, the Patriots had Corey Dillon back in 2004. Lewis is now the clock-killing Corey Dillon here for the Tech Boston Bears.
I mean, this is something how they've come back. And, I mean, the offense, like we've talked about the running of both Cooper and Lewis, but I'm actually just as impressed with the defense. They've really corralled all of the weapons of West Roxbury. Fumble.
And they fumble that time as we were talking about how good Lewis has been. Right on cue, he fumbles the ball there on the handoff. This is how Tech Boston could possibly let West Roxbury back into it.
There you go. Sounds like it popped right off his pad or something.
Right, because it was in there, and then he dropped it. I don't know if the ball's a little slick or Lewis just saw his eyes.
He might have been trying to
shift
it.
If his eyes went towards the end zone, he was trying to score, but.
Well, you're right. I think I'm with you, Pat. This is their last shot. This is West Roxbury. They're going to score twice. We got 5:17 to go. The clock stops on every first down until the markers are set. So this is doable. But West Roxbury is just got to come out of this funk they've been in the whole game. Yeah, the lineman that got hurt he's trying to get himself back together. But
yeah, Nathaniel Rosa.
He
had some sort of ankle injury. I think they taped it up. It's his right ankle.
Yeah, he's trying to see if he can get back in there. Only a sophomore. Looks like he's not going to make it. Yeah, he's not going to get back in.
Yeah, he's having a tough time. Now on first down, Exelholm over the right side. He's got Quinones, but nowhere to go as he picked up 3 there on first down.
This coverage is there. Kyrie Seymour again.
Irvin can zip it in there, though.
It does.
My
Nice
goodness.
pass. But see, then that play is designed that the receiver, once he gets it, can make the first guy miss. Then he has the sideline.
Seymour's made a lot of nice tackles tonight defensively for Tech Boston.
I'll tell you, the linebackers, defensive backs overall for Tech Boston have done a good job. Numerous knockdowns.
2nd down and 7 now for Westy. Exelholm. He's got
Oh.
Lewis Pena, but a little too far for that receiver out there on the left side of the field.
Cooper's on defense, close to some contact, but I think Cooper's smart enough to stay away. There he goes. Yeah, he didn't.
Yeah, there was.
Looked like he was reaching out, but never made the contact. That was a well-thrown ball, too, because he threw it to the outside shoulder, which meant that Cooper had no chance of even knocking it down, but slightly overthrown.
That was a nice route there by Luis Pena. He had a couple steps on Cooper. 3rd down and 7 now for West Roxbury. 4:35 left to go in the 4th. Irvin Exelholm, 5 for 19 so far tonight. We haven't.
Handful of drops at least.
No question. That last one was not, but.
Well, the biggest one was the one Quinones did.
No question.
That
That would
may
have
have had a touchdown. I mean,
that was a big one. 3rd and 7 now for Westy. Exelholm running for his life.
Got some space. Oh, nice angle. Wow.
Tech Boston coming up and making the
That's
tackle.
Harrison. That's
Harrison came up, and also
He came
number 30.
across.
Anton Houghton also with
He
the
came
hit.
from the middle of the field. Watch the left. No, here we go. I'm sorry. He's rushing the passer. Now he angles him out. This is crazy.
And then Houghton there, and then Harrison finishes it off.
I thought he had enough room in front for the first down easily.
Right.
Especially when we know what kind of athlete he is. But it just goes to show you that the Tech Boston defense, they're staying in their areas. They're not being caught the way West Roxbury defense has been caught a couple of times, taking the wrong angle. Well, this is it, 4th and 7. So
you got to convert here. 4th down.
Well, it's not really 7, it's like 4.
Fourth and about 3 right now for West Roxbury. Exelholm drops the snap. Harrison going after him. Exelholm throws it away.
That's it.
That should be
incomplete. They should be. Yeah, it could have been.
Could have been grounding, but it's a turnover on downs anyway.
Got a break there. Well, I'll tell you, this Harrison is something.
Sheds a blocker.
Yep, sheds right there, under control.
That fumbled snap really hurt Exelholm there.
Whew. You talk about a player who can move all over the field. We talked about offense, but defense, we saw him in the defensive backfield, linebacker, right there. The last few plays has been a defensive end.
Rusher.
Right.
Yeah, edge rusher.
I'll tell you, that's
sort of that Jamie Collins type of role where he's just laying every single position.
That's a case where, as a coach, you just hate that he's a senior.
Yeah, right.
You know?
If I could only have one more year with that guy.
One more year. Because you're right, Pat. I mean, I hadn't noticed his size until the second half.
He is a big kid.
He's able to move around because he can protect himself. And look at him again. Now he's a wide receiver. And he's going to be a decoy at this point because they're just going to run the clock out.
And they hand it off to Cooper, and Cooper is met in the backfield.
Take your last timeout. I'm sorry, you get 3 timeouts. Take another timeout by Green. They got 3 left. They can stop. They can actually get the ball back pretty quickly if they just make these tackles. This is what you call selling out for the run blitz. You're spying on Cooper anyway, but now you have 2 players on everybody in the backfield. Lewis and Cooper. You have 2 players watching both of those guys.
West Roxbury takes the timeout here. 4:10 left to go in the 4th quarter, and the Raiders are going to try and get the ball back within a short amount of time. But
well, I mean, it's possible. They have enough timeouts right now for this drive, and they start out well by getting a 4-yard loss.
And they call the timeout. Clock stopped. Then on second down, they hope to make
Call
a
another
stop,
one.
call another
Right.
timeout. They'll have one more after that, I believe.
Now,
Or they have
Tech
2 more.
Boston, Tech
Excuse me.
Boston will need to decide if it gets to fourth down, do they want to punt and try to really push them back, or they just want to kill some more clock by running a fourth down play. But key thing is West Roxbury got to get these stops, and they will because they should. I can't say they will. They should because the linebacker is basically going to be playing defensive linemen, and then like I said before,
Yeah, they're going to stack the box
there you
against
go.
these
Right.
two running backs.
They're going to have 8 guys, almost on the line of scrimmage.
Second down and 14 now for Tech Boston. And they hand off to Cooper again.
Same thing.
And
Yeah.
back to the line of scrimmage goes
Another-
A.J. Cooper. And all
another-
Coach Brown's saying right now is protect the football.
Right. Yeah.
So now West Roxbury will take another timeout.
See, these are plays that were getting yards earlier because they had a regular defensive set against them. But right now, like I said, everyone is like 7 guys like defensive linemen, 7 or 8. And they only have 3 that are really sort of backing up in the defensive backfield just in case. But I'd really be surprised if Tech Boston does anything tricky like trying to throw a pass. Maybe a screen pass, possibly. But other than that, simple handoffs. And this particular drive, they really aren't going to be able to kill clock because West Roxbury is using their timeouts well. This is when coaches sometimes just get that little bit of an itch to, well, let's use that run fake and
Maybe a
pop it over
pass
the middle. There you
yeah.
go. Right, you're right.
And the ball gets deflected. Somebody picks it off. Pick 6. I think that's what West Roxbury is hoping for at this point.
I'll tell you, I'm just surprised that Tech Boston's really kept Exelholm under control so well today. Because their regular defense was able to knock down a bunch of his passes, kept him in the pocket so he really hasn't been able to run much. Like we said before, we predicted those 2 screen passes to Exelholm, those have been the 2 biggest plays on offense for West Roxbury the whole game.
Third down and 14 now for Tech Boston. They are going to throw the ball.
Oh, so wide receiver
They get it to
screen.
Harrison. And Jerron Harrison with a nice cut.
Oh.
Harrison down the sideline. With eyes towards the end zone. Harrison, did he get in? He's just, yes he
got
did.
in.
Harrison with a great effort to the end zone. Touchdown, Tech Boston. That'll seal it here for the Bears.
I'll tell you what's amazing to me, Pat, is that as great a game as Lewis has had, Harrison has equaled it because he's been all over the field. So he knows he doesn't want to go out of bounds, but just by virtue of staying in bounds, that's what gets him. Nice block here by his fullback as Exelholm is trying to get him. And that last dive gives him the touchdown.
59-yard catch and run for Jerron Harrison. Puts the Bears on top 18-0. And now,
wide receiver screen. When you have players like that, it's not. When you have players who can play smart like that, it's not as risky, and that's a perfect example of it. You're talking about a third and what? It was a 3rd and 14. Simple wide receiver screen. And again, because it's not regular defense, there was only a cornerback out there for West Roxbury who had to give a bit of a cushion.
Tech Boston with their 3rd attempt at a 2-point conversion. The handoff over the left side. And getting in the end zone was 35, Kadir Green, the junior running back for the 2-pointer.
That's that same slant play that we've seen Lewis run pretty much all game.
Harrison with a nice
Another
lead
block by Harrison.
Because, of course, he's in the middle of a successful play. So that seals it here for Tech Boston as they are now on top 20-0 with 3:47 left to go here in the 4th quarter. And the Bears,
I tell you, the proponents of this new format are
going to
all
look at a game
smiling.
like this.
They're
Yeah,
saying,
no question.
this is why we did it. This is exactly why we did it. these players who've had an up and down year, even though they're under 500, they started playing better toward the end of the year, and here we are. This would, on paper, have to be considered an upset.
You look at some of Tech Boston's losses. They lost by 4 at Georgetown. They lost by 2 touchdowns to Brighton, who's one of the best teams in Division 7. They lost by 8 to O'Brien, so that's one score. And they lost by 2 to West Roxbury.
Right.
So 3 of their losses are by 8 points or less.
You're
so
talking about one-score games, right.
And that's what, when Coach Brown refers to them, he says we should be 6-1, but we just made a few mistakes in each game that really cost us. That's what he's talking about. 3 games.
Yeah,
losing by a touchdown or less.
Absolutely right.
Short kick there for Tech Boston that is fielded by West Roxbury.
And you know what's funny, Pat? If you even look, they're obviously winning this game, but if you look back throughout the game, they made mistakes in this game too. It's just that the defense bailed them out.
No question.
The defense bailed them out, and the offense, obviously, the rushing of both Lewis and Cooper. Once that tandem just took over the game, running between tackles, West Roxbury had no answers. But when the coaches look back on this game, they're going to be able to point out a bunch of mistakes. And they're going to tell the players, listen, guys, yeah, we got a nice win, but you made the end of the first half. We were saying, what, is this going to come back to bite them?
That huge penalty, the fumble on their opening drive. They had a couple other penalties there in the first half. And Lewis had that fumble when they were trying to kill the clock.
Yeah.
So you've got 5 or 6 mistakes that Coach Brown can point to.
I'll tell you, we saw Cathedral earlier. You can't make those kind of mistakes against them.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Excel, as you mentioned, Excel, they've sort of bounced back this season, but I would be shocked. I'd be shocked too if Excel beats Cathedral.
Cathedral has 1 loss this year, and I believe it's to St. Mary's, who has been a buzzsaw in this Division 8. And now it's Exelholm trying to get to the outside, and he is upended near the sideline.
Yeah, just a frustrating night all around for the offense of West Roxbury. Actually missed a handoff. He was just trying to make something out of the play. That's a good point, though, about Cathedral. When we saw them, they were really impressive, and it's that's the whole thing. The mantra is win and move on, but you're gonna move on to something tougher. Now you talk about confidence in football. This is what Tech Boston will be brimming with. they're gonna have some. The coaches it's gonna be the easiest practices for them all this week.
Exelholm over the right side, and that one falls incomplete.
Yeah, that time Pena actually had broken out down the sideline, but Exelholm threw it behind him. There you go. You see him zipping it out there, but he was actually looking for Quinones, sorry. So 3rd and 11 is, I think the Raiders just want to try to get a pride score right now. They just don't want to be shut out.
We talked about Cathedral before, and their 1 loss was to St. Mary's in one of their rivals in the Catholic Central League. St. Mary's undefeated this season. They're actually in Division 7, so 1 division up of Cathedral and Tech Boston. Lynn Tech is the top seed in this bracket. As they try to air it out for Johnson, who was just an inch or 2 away from making a big-time catch. Cooper there on the coverage.
That's a really good point you're making about St. Mary's, though. Watch this. Aired it out. Johnson just couldn't quite get that extra step out there, because he lost a step when he was trying to get around Cooper. Yeah, St. Mary's teams, they had a few lopsided scores this season. They put together a really strong program.
They actually played Manchester Essex tonight, who was the 8 seed, and beat them 44-0.
Well, that's they
usually the 1 seed. A lot of times that's a
should
tough
be an
game for the
offside.
8 seed as they see Exelholm just diving on the football.
Should be an offside on Tech Boston. Defensive end came across. That ball went right through. That's a hard snap. It went right through his hands. But they'll get a break because of a 5-yard walk-off on Tech Boston. But you're right. It is funny how it's always interesting because you never know how the second round matchups are gonna come out. That's you mentioned Lynn Tech. Okay, tomorrow they play. Oh, I see. Marion and Keefe Tech. Yeah, well, some of the suburban, obviously, we don't have a chance to see many of them, but a lot of times you can go by the scores, you can go by some of the players that really stand out.
And some of these, teams in the Catholic Central small play a lot of teams in the Catholic Central large
because
of their schedule.
Right.
So a lot of times, if they get a win or even if they play those teams, it looks better on their record and helps their seeding when it comes to playoff time. And we talked about the Division 8 bracket. As you see the carry there from Presume. Charlestown taking on New Mission tonight. We haven't gotten a final from that game just yet. Cathedral playing Excel tonight at Roberts Field, which is the home field of Tech Boston.
Right.
Something interesting, too. We saw athletic coordinator for Tech Boston, Brian Buckley, here at halftime, and he was saying if Tech Boston wins tonight, which they will, they'll be playing Cathedral at Tech Boston's field.
Right. Yeah.
But Cathedral will be the home team.
The home team, yeah. Yeah, Tech Boston will be the host.
That's right. but they're the away team.
Right.
When you look throughout the city, teams like Cathedral don't have a field at their school, so they have to bounce around a lot like some of the other teams, like Burke and some of the other teams like that. And that's when people get confused. Where's the game today?
But they have a good program, though.
Oh, they do.
They have a good program.
Yeah. We got an update about the Brighton game. They are up 30-6 against O'Brien in the fourth quarter, which is
that's no surprise.
That's no surprise there. Brighton, after losing that close from the Latin Academy, Brighton.
They've been on a tear, huh? What did they say? They woke up.
they woke up a little bit.
No. I said they were woken up.
They were woken up by. You know what? We saw Latin Academy actually lose to Cathedral, and I said, "Oh, this is going to be sort of a down year for Latin Academy." They had wins against East Boston. They had a nice win against Brighton. They've had some nice wins this season. I don't think they made the postseason.
I remember we were doing the game when the score came to us that East Boston had gotten beaten. And we were both shocked because we had just seen them like the week before that.
Beat West Roxbury, right. And now East Boston's had a tough time.
30-0, yeah.
I don't think East Boston has won a game since that game against West Roxbury, actually, which is unreal for an East Boston team.
But what it does, like you said earlier, it makes Thanksgiving a lot more interesting.
That's right.
Because Excel has started to make some strides. And I mean, we haven't seen East Boston since that early win, like you mentioned, the 30-0 against West Roxbury. I can't imagine what happens to them unless there's just a bunch of injuries or turnovers, whatever.
One thing we thought that could derail them was an injury to Brandon Ortega, their star running back, who's an outstanding football player if you haven't seen him. But I believe he's still healthy. From looking at some of the scores of their games, he's still playing, I think.
But
so that didn't happen. But they've had a tough time.
They just fell off the cliff.
They had to have had injuries to some offensive linemen because that, much like West Roxbury, East Boston has been one of those schools that has consistently had offensive linemen
and had success with that same system every year.
That's right. And Cooper, that's Harrison.
Harrison, wow.
With another nice carry.
Yeah, this is. I can do is say it's overly impressive by this Harrison again. Well, I'm surprised he's still in there, but.
This could be a point with a first down for Tech Boston. They might just kneel on it here.
Yeah, this second half, I mean, really coming in 6-0. And the score doesn't. This is one of those deals where the score doesn't even tell you truly how much in control Tech Boston has been.
The handoff to Lewis. And, that's not Lewis.
That's a new fullback. Yes, that's why I'm surprised.
That's
Harrison's still
Jaquan
there.
Joseph with the carry,
Yeah,
just a
some,
freshman.
Some of the backup players getting the chance to get in.
Good to see some of the younger guys getting some playoff time.
I think Harrison's coming out now. That makes sense. I think you're right. They might just kneel this one. Well, I mean, it's we haven't heard the score yet, but like we both said, we'd be stunned if
if Cathedral didn't win that one.
Yeah.
Joseph getting close to the goal line. And I think he's short. He's down at about the 3.
That'll do it.
And that's going to do it. So the Tech Boston Bears avenging their loss from last week with an overall dominant performance against West Roxbury. They go on to win 20-0 here at West Roxbury High. And that's the funny thing about this game, too, is that, last week, West Roxbury beat Tech Boston at Tech Boston.
At Tech Boston, right.
And then in the playoff game, Tech Boston defeats West Roxbury at West Roxbury. So home field advantage not playing any type of role
at all
here these past 2 weeks.
I tell you, week before Halloween, right?
It's amazing how
things
crazy things can get.
What they say in the movie, remember the Titans? Said, leave no doubt.
Yeah, that's right. Turn it up, leave no doubt. Well, this is just a dominant performance by Tech Boston. We mentioned before in the first half, they probably should have at least 2 more touchdowns.
They should have been up 18-0 at least. No doubt about that. Their first drive, they fumbled inside the 10. Then right before halftime, they had some clock mismanagement, but Lewis had that almost 60-yard run that was called back on a sort of a questionable block on the back. That would have been inside the 10-yard line with over a minute to go. I think 18-0 would have been fair.
Sure.
But give them credit, 6-0. I know the coaches were pounding on the walls in there because they came out. They had the kickoff to West Roxbury, forced a 3-and-out, and from there, it was all Tech Boston.
Dominant performance on the ground, especially for the Tech Boston Bears. They're moving on here in the Division 8 North section in the 2017 MIAA football playoffs. Folks, we're going to head to break. When we come back, we'll have the game-winning coach, the MVP of this game, and our final stats before we sign off here from West Roxbury High just after these words. Don't go away.
When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke.
I'm Paul George, and I want you to spot a stroke fast.
F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911.
Protect the ones you love.
Spot a stroke fast.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
They said I have troll teeth.
That my voice sounded like a possessed baby doll.
That no one would ever love someone as stupid as me.
That I was fat, ugly.
Disgusting.
The effect of bullying is potent. We will no longer be the silent majority.
Now, when you see online bullying, there's something you can do about it.
We're gonna take action with the I.
I am a witness. I am a witness. I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness, and so are you.
It's a beautiful day out here. Sunny today with light breezes, giving way to clouds in the afternoon. We could see some light precipitation to moderate precipitation later on, followed by powerful storm-like conditions. 90 miles per hour winds are expected. Authorities are asking everyone, stay indoors. Come on, that's it. Let's go.
Everybody has a dream.
mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Got a quarter?
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish.
It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
We cannot be bystanders.
We can stop to make sure someone is okay.
We can warn someone when their drink isn't safe.
And disrupt the situation. We can.
Get someone a cab.
Or walk them home safely.
We can make campuses safer for our friends.
Our roommates.
Our classmates. Our fellow human beings.
We cannot be bystanders.
We can. Intervene.
It's on us. All of us.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Hey, you.
Yeah, you. Getting that college education, what are you gonna do? Graduate and take some office job? Be like everybody else? Or will you dare do something different? Like, be a teacher. You could be my teacher. You got the skills. The smarts? Yes, you. You could be the teacher I never forget. That'd be cool. Does that corporate job even have recess? What are you gonna make of yourself?
What are you gonna make of me?
Here we go.
We're gonna go out there in the rain. It's gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Go, bro. Okay, quick. Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah. We're getting so wet.
Welcome back to West Roxbury High School. At the conclusion of Game of the Week, Tech Boston took down the West Roxbury Raiders 20-0 here in the North Division 8 quarterfinals, and much to the happiness of head coach Raul Brown, Tech Boston was able to control the game on the ground. A.J. Cooper, we knew about. He was going to have a great game, but Kelvin Lewis, huge game, rushing the football, 151 yards on the ground, 10 carries, a touchdown, over 10 yards, just over 10 yards a carry. Huge game for him tonight. He was our MVP. He was outstanding.
No doubt, and he gave out a lot of bruises.
That's right.
I mean,
there are going to be some Westie and Tech Boston kids that are going to be sleeping well tonight.
You're right. One play ran up his own lineman's
That's
back.
Right.
But Lewis, give him all the credit in the world.
The bruising back is down on the field with our sideline reporter, Eric Getzoff, and the game-winning coach, Raul Brown. So, Eric, take it away.
I'm here with player of the game, Kelvin Lewis, and head coach Raul Brown. Kelvin, we'll start off with you. 151 yards on the ground, 15 rushes, 1 touchdown. What was working so well for you on the ground?
I feel like my O-line was working pretty hard. At the week of practice, Coach Brown told me, I had to come on time and be consistent because he told me this game was going to be running a lot.
And then the offense in general, you guys had 3 touchdowns. Probably could have had 2 or 3 more. Where did this breakout performance come from for you guys?
Again, I said my O-line. I give kudos to my O-line. They did a pretty good job, and I'm proud of them.
And then after last week's loss against the same team, you guys had a meeting earlier this week. How much did that affect the way that this team prepared for this game and, ended up playing in this game?
Coach Brown gave us a speech. He said, this is our first important game, and we had to come out here and work hard and practice. And, we all had each other's back. Coach Brown said we had to do the same for him.
All right, you got it. Thanks a lot, Kelvin. Get on to Raul right now. Raul, first off, how about the play at Kelvin? Unbelievable. He averaged over 10 yards per game, per rush on the ground.
I said this before. He's a special player, but he hasn't been consistent coming to practice on time. So this is definitely his breakout game.
So you guys lost last week against the same team, 16-14. You had the practice, you had the meeting during the week, and then you won this game. What changes did you see during the week in practice after the meeting that kind of lit your eyes up and said, all right, maybe we have a chance to win this game?
Yeah, well, I don't want to take anything away from West Roxbury because last week they definitely handed it to us, and Coach Wright did a great job with his crew. This is probably one of the hardest hitting kids that we've faced this year. They always bring it, but for us, we weren't playing Bears football. I challenged them. I told them I expect us to win, and that's what my expectations were. And I asked them in our meeting, I was like, listen, I'm telling everybody we're gonna win. Do you guys have my back? And they said, yeah, we have your back. And I said, listen, if you're gonna have my back, we need to execute and we need to make sure we come out here and do our job.
And what would you say the biggest difference was from this week, from last week?
Everybody was at practice, and practice was really, really consistent. And everybody knew what was at stake. They felt they were a really good team, and they wanted to make sure they went out and proved it.
And then last off, you guys have won 4 of your last 5 games, and you're averaging 6, allowing only 6 points per game in those 4 wins. Yep. And today, the pass defense was incredible. Every long pass was seemingly deflected. What was it so good? What worked so well for the pass defense today?
Well, our defense in general have been carrying us. Our offense kind of has taken a toll. Because we're so inconsistent, people are playing out of position, and it's hard to get the offense rolling. But our defense pretty much has been there the whole year. Same individuals, and they stepped up today. We have some great athletes, and they just stepped up.
And what are you looking to prepare for? You don't know who you're playing next week, but what would you look to prepare for next week?
Well, depending on who we're playing, we'll look at film, we'll see who we got, and if it's Cathedral, we know how tough they are. They pretty much beat us around last Thanksgiving. So, if it's the other team, we'll prepare for them, just like we prepare for this game.
Best of luck.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. Back to you, Bill.
Thanks very much, Eric and Coach Brown. Certainly happy that his team fulfilled the promise that he made to a lot of different people. But, he mentioned to us earlier in the week that, this team kind of came into the season, we're Tech Boston or Dorchester, however you want to refer to it. We're the Bears. They've been very successful over the past decade. They've made a lot of playoffs. They've won a lot of Boston South championships. Right. Now they've moved up to the Boston North, tougher competition. They sort of walked into the season thinking they were going to be one of the top teams in the city. Got caught by surprise. So one of that type of practice this week, that type of talk from Coach Brown really sort of gave them a kick in the rear end and said, this is how we have to play the rest of the season.
No doubt about that. And it was interesting. You mentioned earlier in the game what he instituted in terms of players not being on time for practice.
Right.
Literally, really seriously losing playing time.
Sure.
And that gets to you, especially as you get to the end of the season. Once you know you're going to make the playoffs, I want to be out there. And so, however that worked out, like you said, the important players all made it on time this past week, and Lewis was a perfect example. Getting the opportunity, coach told him you're going to get a lot of carries. He got a lot of carries, and he made the most of them.
Without question. Let's take a look at the final stats from this game to see where the Tech Boston Bears really made their mark. First, I'm going to see West Roxbury, and they had a tough time really getting big plays. Not a lot of big plays for this West.
Not at all. That's what they've lived on, and unfortunately, they were bottled up. Presumably with 35 yards, Exelholm with 20 yards. You got receiving 2 for 47. Exelholm, that's the 2 screen passes. That came back from the halfback. 1 for 30 yards, 1 for 17 yards, and that was it. After that, there was nothing else. Johnson had that one third down catch, very nice catch for a first down, but not much there. Then passing was just tough, 31 yards for Exelholm, for those same 47 yards for Pena. Just a frustrating offensive night for West Roxbury.
No question. Let's take a look at the Tech Boston stats.
Wow, look at that. That's unbelievable. 151 yards, 15. That's 10 yards a carry and a touchdown for Lewis. Cooper, who obviously could have been the outstanding player, all right, with what he did. 92 yards, 13 carries, and a touchdown. Cooper also had 2 catches for 15 yards, and Harrison had the big 59-yarder here in the fourth quarter for his only touchdown. So Center Charles ended up with a very modest 4 for 8, 81 yards, but threw that 59-yard touchdown at the end of the game.
Without question, very impressive performance here for Tech Boston. They had 232 yards rushing to West Roxbury's 59, so that's like a 173-yard difference there.
I'll tell you.
That's the name of the game.
If you didn't know it, you'd never think that there was a 16-14 game last week.
No question. No
you'd
question.
Never think about
this
it.
was a completely different game, and it seemed like 2 completely different teams. Well, folks, we want to thank you very much here for joining us on Game of the Week. If you want to watch this game again, you can certainly go to our website, www.cityofboston.gov/game of the week. All the games from this 2017 high school football season are up there. You can also follow us on social media. First, check out Facebook. Search for Game of the Week here in Boston. A lot of good updates, game links, videos, a lot of good stuff. So like us on Facebook. You can also follow us on Twitter at Boston City TV. If you want to tweet at us, use the hashtag BostonGOW. Because we're in the playoffs, we're not exactly sure who we're going to be covering next week, but we will let you know on our Facebook page, so make sure you check that out in the next couple of days. We'll try to follow as many city teams as we can as this 2000.
Rev the truck up, right?
That's right. Gas it up and let's go. 2017 high school football playoffs. It's been a lot of fun. We hope it continues. We'll see you next time here on Game of the Week. Take care, folks.